Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Project Infinite podcast, the podcast covering the infinite and ever-expanding multiverse of fandom. From movies, comics, TV shows, video games, we got you covered. I'm here. I'm Rob. I always screw that intro up, but it's fine.
Hi, here. I'm Dad.
I'm here, as always, with Court. And Court, the hierarchy of this podcast is about to change.
Man? Because of the Creed 3 trailer.
Yes. Yeah, the Creed 3 trailer and the Ant-Man trailer.
We got trailered out.
Yeah, we did get trailered out.
Black Adam.
And we talked about Creed last week because we got those first images, and literally the day after was when we got the trailer. So as always, we weren't late on the DC news, but we were late on the Creed trailer.
Yeah,
but
we got breaking news for the DC news.
Yeah, that was crazy. So yeah, we're gonna talk about Black Adam. We both saw it,
It's fun.
It's fun. I was gonna say our reactions might surprise you, but if you follow the internets, it might not surprise you because in general it does feel like people are quite liking this movie. Right. So we're gonna talk about the latest installment, the reboot installment, perhaps of the DCEU.
I have some thoughts on that. I think they're gonna do something with that very fact.
Yeah, so I'm excited to talk about that and a few other things DC and Warner Brothers related. So we're gonna wrap that all together. But first, we do have some other news. Starting first and foremost with, so as we all know, the Flash is coming. The TV show, The Flash, is coming to an end this year. With season 9 will be the final season of The Flash, and we finally got a first set photo look at who the main villain appears to be in this final season of The Flash. And a lot of people had speculated that this was going to be the case, and they're going to go ahead and do the Red Death. But as CW version, obviously it won't be the Bruce Wayne version of Red Death. They're going to bring Jessica Leslie back after Batwoman got canceled, so they're going to bring her back as the Red Death for The Flash season 9, and I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's an interesting concept. I think depending on how this season looks, I don't know if this season's going to be 10 episodes like Arrow did, which would kind of be cool. What was Arrow? Arrow ended with 8 or 10 episodes?
10
episodes. Or if they're going to go the 22 route, I wouldn't be surprised if a show like The Flash just ends on the 22, but there's something about the final seasons of these shows being 10, like a 10 pay homage to what you've done, because they really did shape the landscape of what, superhero television was, whether you want to believe it or not. A lot of your, actual powered superheroes generate from that Arrowverse, and the concepts and kind of even the story structures. A lot of these newer TV shows take from that. So, I hate to see Grant Gustin go, but I can't wait to kind of catch up and, see him off. He's been incredible. He's really big in my life. Literally from high school to now has just been the Flash that I've known. Literally my favorite DC Comics character. Him and Mr. Miracle. It's a tie now. But no, it's just going to be incredible to kind of see what he's able to concoct for this last season. I think Red Death's an interesting villain. I do think that you're not going to not have Thawne come back and be and punch him up a little bit by the very end, but bring everybody back. Get Eddie Thawne back.
Yeah, I'm expecting much like kind of how Arrow did it in their final season, even though Arrow was looped in with that Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Which is just the most fortunate of timing, if you want to think about it. That's got to be one of the most... you know what? I'll take away from the fortunate and the luck aspect, and they knew they had the task and they delivered.
Yeah, so I'm expecting a similar thing from this last season of The Flash. It's going to be a lot of kind of homages, and we'll probably see some returning characters that we haven't quite seen in a while. I know the guy that played Rainbow Raider in the first season was also in those set photos, so it looks like...
Barry, you need to calm down.
So he'll be coming back for probably an episode, I wouldn't be surprised if Wentworth Miller comes back.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
For maybe something, and who knows? Maybe Stephen Amell will come back for something.
I genuinely think Stephen Amell is going to come back for just a cameo, even if he doesn't even need to suit up. Maybe he just sees Barry. So I don't know what's happened in the last season and a half to 2 seasons of The Flash. I'm probably, because when is this coming out? Do we know?
Probably. I don't know, actually.
Because TV shows shoot differently. We're seeing these set photos and very well be late. Oh, what am I saying? It's going to come out in October, right?
That's usually when it does come out.
Yeah, it's usually because right after San Diego Comic-Con, it's a month gap, and then it's all your shows kind of start. So yeah, we'll see. We'll do more of a deep dive, but once we get around to talking about The Flash as a whole, like I said, that show holds a very, very special place in my heart, and it's literally one of my, it will, for the better or worse of that show, it's going to be one of my favorite TV shows till the day I die.
Yeah. So moving on, the Joker cast is quietly growing, and they added Harry Lawty to their Joker sequel. Not really a ton of things. He's most notable for the TV show Industry on HBO, which by all accounts is a pretty good show. He's the main character in that. He's a young actor, so, I think he's only 26 maybe? He might be 26.
Nice.
Yeah, so he's going to be in this Joker movie, possibly in a notable role, if it's one of these things that they're announcing this far in advance.
They didn't say that he was an Arkham inmate, did they?
No, that was
the last one,
last casting, yeah. So we don't know what he'll be doing, but this Joker sequel is definitely starting to pick up some traction.
He's Jason Todd.
It could be.
Give him the crowbar.
in this weird Joker universe that we have. But I mean, one of the obviously one of the biggest super comic book character movies of all time, definitely in that. I guess it'd be similar to like the Batman, like in the sense that it's more of like an auteur kind of comic book movie versus the movie we're going to talk about later.
Right.
So yeah, I'm excited to see what Joaquin Phoenix and Lady Gaga do in the sequel. So good choice by all accounts. What else? So we talked a little bit a while ago about Damon Lindeloff, the creator of Lost, and what else has he worked on? Prometheus,
yep. Which I'm glad you said that, because the news you're about to say, it's giving me some thoughts. But
yeah, so it had been announced a while back that he was going to be doing a Star Wars film. Much like all these other future Star Wars films, we don't really know what any of them are about.
Yep.
Except for the other one, the Jude Law one's not even a movie, right?
No, it's a TV show.
Right. So we don't know anything about any of these future Star Wars films that are coming out, but we do know that the Damon Lindeloff produced, and I think he's co-writing also, will be directed by Charmin Obaid-Chinoy, who you might know as the director of several episodes of Ms. Marvel, a personal favorite show of this podcast.
Yeah, yep.
So that's a great choice, I think, depending on, Damon Lindeloff, based on the projects that he's worked on, it gives me very kind of mysterious kind of vibes.
Yeah, I love what he did with Prometheus from a conceptual level. You can have your issues with that movie, but I think just the feel and look and the aura of that movie were something truthfully unique, in my opinion. It gave off just this, there's this vagueness of it, and there's this kind of like that mystery and wonder that I always talked about seeking out, that you want from your...
Oh, and also Watchmen.
Right.
Damon Lindeloff did. Yeah. So
probably one of my top 5 favorite TV shows, or top 10 favorite TV shows of all time.
Yes.
But what he's able to craft is something that it's conceptual, but there's so much depth to it as well. And the thing that I got from that is I hope that they give him a Jedi, and I hope that it's just set it after episode 9 and just give us a new story. Just give us a brand spanking new story. Give us a brand new Jedi and just have them go on a journey. That's all I want. That's really all I want. And just the possibilities, especially from what we've gotten from Andor, like, it does not need to be connected to anybody else's name. Just let's get a new story. Let's get one of these young actors and let's just put them on a journey.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like I said, all these movies that they've announced for Star Wars in particular are kind of shrouded in mystery. Like, nobody really knows what they are. We know the Rian Johnson thing is still in limbo.
He just talked about that. He says he still hopes to make it. I genuinely don't think unless Knives Out 2 just absolutely performs, which I think it's going to perform. The only thing that hurts it a little bit in that aspect is Netflix. But unless it, absolutely breaks Netflix and is just, one of the most sought-after movies of the year, we'll see. Because I think if he spaces himself out from The Last Jedi, and this is not me saying that, because I think we've talked about it, that The Last Jedi is probably, in my opinion, the second best looking Star Wars movie we've ever gotten. It's the best looking Star Wars movie from the modern age. And I don't think it's that bad.
No.
I just think there's plot issues that just don't make sense. And he also got handed that movie at a tough time. So
yeah, none of those directors were really given a good kind of footing to go on. It was not really cohesive. We talked about this, that it wasn't cohesive. Like J.J. Abrams started it, and then he said,
"I'm not trying to do a trilogy. I'll do this." And
then they handed it to Rian Johnson,
and he did what he wanted.
Yep, and then they had a third director he got shelved, and then they handed it back to J.J. Abrams.
And he's like, "Can you save us, J.J. Abrams?" He's like, "I'll try."
And he did his best with it. So I'd like to see Rian Johnson kind of get a fair shake away from the Skywalker saga and kind of let him do his own thing where he can get creative, where people aren't so up in arms about the canon and all that stuff.
Yeah,
so
because that guy can definitely craft a world. So I think given time and what he's like I said, what he was able to do with this, he's creating his own Knives like murder mystery universe, which is cool. So like let him do that with Star Wars, but specifically on this project, I'm doubling down on that. I want this Jedi to kind of navigate themselves in this universe, post Empire, like post all this stuff. Like I think that would be a really good thing to kind of explore. And I don't know if I'm scarred from The Last of Us, but like I just want this like, this pseudo mundane like, traveler's journey of just like, this young Jedi in the universe or in the galaxy that's just like picks up a lightsaber, is just like, let's just do something wholly original.
Yeah. I'm all for it. We've talked about it before that Star Wars is desperately lacking in kind of original content.
Yeah.
So I'd be all for that. The Creed 3 trailer that we didn't quite get a chance to talk about last week because it wasn't out yet, and then it came out literally a day after we recorded. So we finally got it. So this is the third. We've had 3 different Creed directors.
Yep.
So we had Ryan Coogler obviously did Creed 1. We had Steve Caple Jr. did Creed 2. And this one is going to be directed and starred by Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah,
so his directorial debut will be the franchise that he helped kind of build.
Yeah, and it's the same thing that, Rocky Balboa himself, Sylvester Stallone did in those movies too. He took up the director mantle too. But this movie, just to start it, visually looks pretty solid. I said it, I don't know if I've ever said it on here, but Creed 2, Ryan Coogler didn't direct that movie, but the second director for Creed 2, I thought that movie looked pretty dang incredible. I thought that movie looked really good.
Yeah, I think they've got it down. Yeah. The formula for how these Creed movies should look. I think they've built upon what Ryan Coogler did, and they've really honed that kind of formula.
Yeah, there's like the first 2, specifically Creed 1, I just love that like subtle indie feel that Creed 1 has, that it's not as, massive stakes, but then it kind of builds up and builds up and builds up to as well. But I think Ryan Coogler has a handle on this universe, and obviously he's going to produce, but who knows you better than your star knows the main character. So I'm really glad that this is going to be the start for Michael B. Jordan. I wish him a long director career, like given him wanting to choose that path. But we'll talk about the thing that everybody's talking about, and that's Jonathan Majors, because he looks incredible. He looks like a Greek god, for lack of a better term. Yep.
Yeah, and the trailer does a really great job of establishing what the story is going to be in this. Whereas Jonathan Majors portraying the friend that kind of feels he lost his opportunity at the career that Creed ended up getting. Yep. And that's it's a story born out of jealousy, and that always makes it's a tale as old as Shakespeare. Yep. So it's very Shakespearean in its concept. Right. So that kind of story beat almost always works. Mm-hmm. So Michael B. Jordan obviously returning as Adonis Creed. Tessa Thompson's back in this as Bianca. We have the actor who I can't remember his name right now as Drago's son is returning in this one. I think we talked last week that him being in it kind of points to like your rivals, like becoming your
Rocky,
friends.
It feels very part Rocky 4 in that way, or Rocky 3, where he's going to kind of help him out maybe a little bit.
Yeah, and then obviously Jonathan Majors, who's primed for an absolutely stacked 2023.
Yeah, I just said it before we hopped on. In 3 weeks, he's playing Kang the Conqueror in the villain of the Creed franchise. Like that, what an insane run to start. Like I can't put my. He just has something that I can't put my finger on. Like he's got this relatable star power that is just, it's undeniable. And I think we're really seeing the dawn of the Jonathan Majors era.
Yeah, I said that last week where, movies have this unique quality where you kind of can see it coming. Mm-hmm. You see the ascent of certain actors coming when they roll off projects like this, like right
House
in a row.
House of the Dragon is in that 100% right now, yeah. Mm-hmm. Just like Game of Thrones did. Game of Thrones ignited countless careers.
Yeah, Emilia Clarke, Maisie Williams. You look down that list now of people. a couple of them, almost all of them have been in the Marvel universe in some form or fashion. So all the main, except on the Lannister side, not any Lannisters in the MCU yet, but
the Starks though.
But the Starks definitely on the come up there. But yeah, no, you're right. So Jonathan Majors obviously has Creed 3, and then we paired these things together on this rundown. So we got the Ant-Man Quantumania trailer finally after much grainy footage and then Comic-Con and D23 kind of recaps having things explained to us of what was going on in these footages. The trailer a bit different than those iterations. I thought this looked pretty good.
Yeah, it's fun. It looks fun, and it looks conceptual. I'm getting a lot of Loki feel from this as well, where we're kind of diving into these different universes, and I can finally see the groundwork of what the bigger picture is going to be. And again, that comes with Jonathan Majors. You can have the guy in the chair, but what about the guy in the chair? You know what I mean? So I think this is a perfect casting. And like Kevin Feige said, he doesn't see anybody else's shoulders of this multiversal saga on. And I think the number one comment I could say from him is this is the second time we've seen him, and he feels infinitely different than what he does in Loki. Like, it feels like two different people. And that's what Kevin Feige was talking about. He's like, it's remarkable how much he can change himself to adapt to these different roles. So, getting back to this trailer. So we're opening up with Scott Lang. He's a celebrity now, which is really cool. I like that.
we kind of got a little bit of that in Ms. Marvel when they mentioned the podcast, right? So Scott Lang is definitely, embracing this Avenger life, making the most of it, as someone like him would. You know, he wasn't brought up in this superhero life. He wasn't, privileged. He didn't go to war or anything like that. He was just some happenstance thief who stumbled upon an Ant-Man suit and became a hero. Right. So obviously, I think I think it was the Comic-Con stuff was a bit misleading, where people were like, it's going to his head. I didn't get that vibe from this.
No.
I got the vibe of a guy who just genuinely enjoys what he does and enjoys being an Avenger, which, coming off of, other things starring Avengers, former Avengers, current Avengers, that kind of explored the not so glamorous part of it. Right. Talking about Hawkeye, talking about Falcon and the Winter Soldier, talking about Black Widow. None of those guys seem particularly thrilled about being Avengers, so it's kind of nice to get the flip side of that, where you have people who, like Scott, who genuinely enjoy it, So, yeah.
So we're going to take a look at, so basically, what is Cassie Lang doing? What is she building?
She's a new actress, first of all.
Yes. Catherine Newton has replaced the Avengers Endgame actress. I would have liked to see that. I love that scene, man, where he's running to find. He's just like, the heck? What do you mean 5 years has gone by? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
So basically, she's built a machine because, assumedly, she's a part of she's doing something. She's trying to save something. She's trying to be a hero, just like her dad, and that's admirable. However, what the heck is Janet on the other side? What the heck is Janet Van Dyne? Like, what is she hiding? Because
what does she know?
She's been coy since she came back in Ant-Man and the Wasp, and that's really interesting in my opinion. Like, there's something that she's just not telling everybody, and I feel like that might be her fatal flaw. I think that might be what kills her in this movie, is that very fact. Is
possibly
she's been holding on so much information which could have helped some other people, but maybe that is basically the fact that Kang the Conqueror is down there and that he is not to be released from this. And it's such good world building inside of a universe that's already so built. Like, you can hype up your villain, but this is such an interesting way to do it. Like, I talk about that Loki season finale. I still to this day think it's one of the best things that Marvel has ever done in its last 12 years. Like, it's incredible. The world building you have from no action. You're just sitting there talking, and I'm intrigued the entire time. Like, it's this concept that there's something out there that it's the inevitability of it. Like, you don't have a choice of what's coming. Like, you can kill me right now. You're just not going to like what happens if this goes through. And same thing feels like for Janet. Like, we, under no circumstance can we go down there and release this man, because you don't, it's this hopelessness if he gets released, because you can fight Thanos, hand to hand, whatever you need to do. You can't fight time. And I think that's something that's can't fight the universe, you can't fight time. I think that's going to be a huge theme going into phase 5 and phase 6.
Yeah, I totally agree. I guess that's really the thing. It looks pretty great. Obviously it's much different in tone from the previous Ant-Man movies. Like, the beginning of the trailer really invokes that kind of Ant-Man tone. And then there's the lynch point of the trailer where they all get sucked into the quantum realm, and then everything changes from the tone to the visual style. It all changes, you know. And we got to look at some strange creatures. We got some new environments, and then we obviously got the big reveal of Jonathan Majors as Kang the Conqueror proper. He had the suit.
That suit looks so good. Give them, I'm a very big give them the suit and just tweak little things, but give them the suit. Give them the comic accurate suit. We don't want to see any suits that don't look like it. He looks menacing. He looks in control. He looks like he has a plan. And again, I don't think that Paul Rudd's making it out of this.
and like you mentioned, a great contrast from how he presented the character in Loki, whereas he was very bombastic. He was very kind of almost out of his mind in a sense.
Yeah, I mean, he's seen once you see it all, there's probably not a lot of variables than going insane.
And in this, feels like the definition of speak softly but carry a big stick. That's the vibe I get from him in this trailer, where he's a man of few words, but his words are very measured and very poignant, and it's not so much a request that Ant-Man and Ant-Man helps him. It's more of a demand. Right. Is the vibe that you get from the end of the trailer. Yeah.
So what are some theories I got? So theory number 1 is that it's the most outlandish one I have, but like a bunch of these phase 5 through 6 properties, he's just going to be the villain. Like if they do Moon Knight season 2, he's just going to be Rama Tut in that. Like, I don't know what else you got. If they do the Young Avengers, it's going to be like, what's his name?
Nathaniel Richards.
You got, like I said, you got to get the kid that played the younger version of him in The Harder They Fall to play him.
Yeah.
To play him in the Young Avengers. That would be cool. But you got, who else? You got Victor Timely. Just make Victor Timely the villain of something. You got, somebody made a cool point that, like, make Immortus the villain of Agatha Coven and Chaos. So, like, be like Immortus got the Darkhold somewhere to somebody, like throwing him in, because the way that Kevin Feige was speaking is that he's not just going to be in Kang Dynasty and just be like, it feels like he's going to be in more than just Loki, this, and Kang Dynasty. Like, it feels like he's going to be in, like, pop up in different things around the
that would make sense. That would make total sense for what the character is and what he does, and all the different iterations that we already know exist. We don't know exactly what those iterations are, but we know they exist because he talked about them in the Loki finale. About all of his variants coming together, and that obviously that line. You think I'm evil? Wait till you meet my variants. So it implies that we are going to be seeing more than one of him. Throughout the next few phases of Marvel movies.
I hope if you guys want something to read, you're going to read the Jonathan Hickman Avengers run. You're going to read the Infinite Avengers, that book that I can't remember how many issues it was. It's absolutely incredible. It's literally one of like my favorite comics that I've read inside of like an absolutely massive story. Basically, the time zone so basically the background of this is that the regular Avengers find out that Tony Stark and the Illuminati knew about that the multiverse was ending and didn't tell anybody. And while this is going on, the time stone just pops up, and then they just get thrown. I think it's something like 7 years, and then 70 years, and then 700 years, and then 7,000 years, 70,000, 700,000, 7 million, so on and so forth. Like, they keep getting thrown like years upon years in the future. And then, like, I forget who it was. It might be Captain America's the only one that gets to the end. And then it's just Nathaniel Richards, Immortus, and Rama Tut are just standing there, just like, yeah, buddy, it's not looking too great. But I'm going to tell you the only way that you're going to be able to fix this. Like, it's just, it's so cool. But Kang's got so much potential, so much value. And you know what I hope this whole thing, like this whole culmination of Kang's dynasty that he wants to get, I hope he just wants to get Ravonna this whole time. Wouldn't that be something if this is just a love story at its core?
That would be very interesting.
Yeah. He just wants his girl, like, that's it.
I think he wants his big chair.
He probably wants both. The big chair and the girl.
The big chair. I think the big chair is the MacGuffin of this movie.
Yeah. He's got to get the chair to get.
How do you lose it?
How do you lose it?
How do you lose a chair? You're sitting on it.
Yeah, you're sitting on it. Just
Kang the Conqueror.
Just don't get up, Kang the Conqueror. What's more important, that stupid big chair or the Mobius chair from DC? I mean, that Mobius chair gives you like infinite knowledge.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's cool.
Batman sat in it.
But then he went insane.
Ah.
Yeah. You put you so.
Thanos had a chair.
Yeah, he did.
Didn't make him insane.
No, he got a lot done.
He got a lot done.
Yeah, he did.
His chair had rockets on it, too.
His chair did have rockets on it. It's pretty cool.
Conquering the universe is all about chairs. What kind of chair you sit in? That's the... Oh, man, see, I see what you're doing, Marvel. They gave us another villain that sits in a big chair.
Yeah.
Dang it.
And MODOK's in this movie.
Oh, he also sits in a big chair.
This is the chair?
Maybe he stole Kang's chair. That would make sense.
It's probably Darren Cross, right?
Yeah, I think that's like the worst kept secret about this movie.
Yeah.
MODOK,
Welcome back, Corey Stoll.
MODOK stole Kang's chair.
Give it.
Why can't Kang just get it himself?
Who's to say?
Because he's stuck in the quantum realm.
Yeah.
But the chair's also in the quantum realm?
He's stuck in Chronopolis.
Chronopolis.
Look. If you don't think comics are stupid.
I saw it. I see what he did. You got any other thoughts on the Ant-Man trailer?
No, I think I said everything. I think... What was my other theory? Oh, yeah. My theory that I've been holding true since the first Ant-Man movie is that they were going to recast Michael Douglas at some point with a younger version of himself so we can get an in-universe, like, Hank Pym that actually goes out as Ant-Man because, that's original recipe. But then the allegations.
Yeah, there's 3 Ant-Man historically in the comics, and 2 of them are
Eric O'Grady friggin' sucks.
Yeah. 2 of them are problematic, and one of them is Scott Lang.
Right. So... And it doesn't help that also Paul Rudd plays Scott Lang on top of that.
Right. So, yeah, I don't know about all that.
Yeah. give me Austin Butler as Hank Pym.
You want this guy in everything.
Yeah. He's the future.
You're trying to get him to replace Harry Styles in the Eternals?
Still holding true on that.
Look, it might happen. That's all I know.
You jumped the gun, Marvel.
Harry Styles? Jury's still out.
Who's to say?
Yeah.
Don't worry, darling. That's who's to say.
You should worry if you cast Harry Styles in your movie. Worry a little bit, because Florence Pugh is getting paid.
Yeah. She's getting paid for that Thunderbolts movie.
Yeah! She's making RDJ money.
Yeah. They must know. It's so crazy, because Florence Pugh's 26. Like, this is nuts.
Yeah. Yeah. They got a young stable coming up in Marvel, which is good, which is what you need for this unprecedented cinematic universe to continue. You need to
get some young talent.
Definitely, and they're picking the right ones so far. So before we talk about Black Adam, we do have some DC news that we're gonna tie in to this. So Walter Hamada, the much maligned president of Warner Brothers, has either been forced out or he's resigned, whichever version of the story you want to choose to believe. Yeah, he's out.
Yeah.
I didn't see anything about a replacement. I'm sure there is one.
Yeah.
It's The Rock, actually.
Because what was the original? The original was you get Jeff Johns to do what Kevin Feige did.
That didn't work.
It did not work, which was very interesting. So, I mean, it goes to show you there's one thing to write these stories and craft these stories like he was doing. I mean, it is just absolutely undeniable that Jeff Johns is one of the greatest, minds to ever work on comic books. Like, I mean, he literally helped usher in the new age, like this very new age of comic books and the foundation of which DC sits upon. Did he do some questionable things?
Yes.
Yep.
Then they were going to hire another guy, and then that didn't happen.
Nope.
Obviously the whole we've talked about this Warner Brothers Discovery thing and how awful it's been for a lot of people involved, and Walter Hamada obviously at the forefront of that. So they got him out. Yep. He's out. He's gone. He's been replaced by The Rock, probably.
Yep. Well, I think it's like a puppet master situation. Like, The Rock's going to go out and say everything for you, and then they're going to have a real person pulling the real strings. Is it Kevin Feige?
Oh, no, he's double dipping.
He is double dipping. That's why he couldn't make the Blade movie. He was too worried about the DC universe.
Yeah, so that was an interesting bit of news coming off the back of what Black Adam's doing. And why don't you do this one? Actually,
so I'm sitting in my car on my lunch, just chilling.
Yep.
Take one refresh of my Twitter page, and who, lo and behold, shows up, but not Henry Cavill, just spilling the beans. The cat's out of the bag. We all saw that post-credit scene from Black Adam, as if it wasn't spoiled 3 weeks ago
by The Rock.
But the rumors are true. He's signed on. He's back. And it genuinely feels like the future's here. So he had like a little promo image of himself, and he says, "I'm back." He pulled the Michael Jordan.
He did the Michael Jordan.
I'm back, man. He looks. He feels reinvigorated. Like, this feels right. I don't know how to explain it. Like, he feels like I feel hope. Like, I actually feel hope that, like, we might get like a tried and true DC universe this time.
Yeah, we'll talk about him a little bit more when we talk about Black Adam, because obviously the post-credit scene. But yeah, I agree. I think possibly, I don't think he would have done this if he didn't at least believe in something.
Yep, there's something's going right at that Warner Brothers DC lot, and that I feels like it went right within the last 6 months. Something went right, or last 3 months it could have been, because I heard he shot that cameo in September. Like,
well, yeah, because of the original cut of this movie, they were going to Shazam it again. Mm-hmm. They were going to do the headless Superman was going to show back up.
Right.
Yeah, we don't need that. We don't need Headless Superman in another cameo.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's crazy to say, but it all feels like it's because of Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, they have the same agent, Henry Cavill and Dwayne Johnson. So they were friends. There's obviously that famous that picture where they're at that table just eating and having a good time. Like, this definitely feels like we're gonna get, you cross Zachary Levi into that fold, like get your comedy bits out of him. Like, this could be like a really, I just watched that DC, like the Black Adam versus Shazam and Superman. Like, do that. Like, have your mentor with, because like Shazam in the comics, like, he's supposed to look a little like Superman, because like Billy Batson, like when he turns, he's supposed to look like a version like of himself, which is the best. And in itself, you see Superman, like, that's the version of Superman we need. Like, we need the Superman you look up into the sky and like you look at hope. Like, that's what we need. And that's what a lot of, especially the very beginning of Superman and Lois was doing so incredibly. Like, it captured the feel and aura of what Superman is. And I think that this, whatever this looks like, and that's why I'm so adamant. I feel like Joseph Kosinski, like with Christopher McQuarrie writing that, like, that would, I wouldn't put them past it to not do it, because the rumor mill has been spinning that it got sent out to Christopher McQuarrie to be like, hey, you wanna maybe take this? And hey, I don't think he would put it past himself to take that. Obviously, he's very busy. Like, he's going to have to spend a lot of time with Tom Cruise over the next couple of years, finishing out this Mission Impossible universe. But man, if they can get that Man of Steel 2 right, or whatever they call that movie, like, maybe call it Superman Man of Tomorrow would be cool. Like, just something. If you get Christopher McQuarrie to craft that story, you get Henry Cavill back, he's back, like, they could make something potentially really, like, very special. So I'm really looking forward to that. I don't know what I was talking about with Nicholas Patel doing the score, as much as I love him. Just get Hans Zimmer back, because that Man of Steel score is just glorious. So yeah, the foundation and the bricks feel laid. And I can see them walking on it.
It's looking promising.
Mm-hmm.
I'll hold out, reserve my judgment for whatever happens with the Flash and a bunch of other things that they still have to stick the landing on, but definitely a solid foundation built upon, drum roll, Black Adam.
Just so crazy that's a real sentence. That
so
Superman's saving and the DCU saving was on Black Adam.
Yeah, so we finally got it. 15 years in the making.
Mm-hmm.
This, and that's not even an exaggeration.
They were teasing this movie when The Rock had hair.
Yeah, Dwayne Johnson's passion project, Black Adam. He's always wanted to do this. He stuck with it. I talked about it last week. All props to him for sticking with it for as long as he has, never really letting it go. And they finally made it. They finally did it. It's finally out. And it's been a roller coaster over the last week, dissecting what this movie is doing at the box office and what it means critically. So I guess I'll get that out of the way now. So typical, it feels like a standard DC affair here. Yeah. maybe on a little bit more polarizing than usual.
This feels post Aquaman.
So critics panning it. There's no really gentle way to say that. Critics do not like this movie. Yep. It's sitting on a 40% aggregate on Rotten Tomatoes from critics. And then, another drum roll, the flip side of that, the audience, the general moviegoers, seem to be generally liking this. So, going back to the Rotten Tomatoes aggregate, audience score sitting at a 90%.
Yep.
So,
in the great words of K2SO, it's high.
Yes.
It's very high.
It's very... It's high. It's very high. And it is quite high. That seems to be the consensus, not just between the two of us, but just general kind of speaking on the internet. And I know that can also be dubious because when you get out into the real world, you realize how small the voices on the internet really are. But I mean, getting just we both rely kind of upon the theater experience, and people walking out seemed to quite like it.
Yeah, they were. It's just a fun, like, I just think this is very much a no harm, no foul fun movie.
Which is exactly what I predicted it was going to be.
I think you looking at it from a critical lens, you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot a bit. You know, obviously it's me, so still, like, look, this movie's not great by any means. Absolutely not. But is it fun? Like, this is just an action entertainment movie. Cool.
And the thing is, it never pretended to be, never tried to be anything other than
if
that.
It tried to be, I would have probably liked this. It understood the assignment 100%.
It didn't try to be anything more than what it was. The Rock did not try to be anything more than he is. He's never going to win an Oscar, folks. It's never going to happen. He has found his niche, and he's lived in it for the past 15 years, building up to this moment. I truly feel like of all the genres that guy fits into, this is the one he fits into best, in my opinion. Is a superhero genre, playing any sort of comic book character. Just so happened that this is the one that he likes the most. So just real quick, the box office, it was estimated to make 60 to 65 million domestically. It has gone past that a bit. It's hit $67 million domestically, so it's on the high end of projections. It was 25% above Shazam for domestic, and just a little smidge below Aquaman, some $800,000 worth below Aquaman. It's made almost more than twice that domestically or overseas, so it's floating around about $140 million opening weekend with a lot of good audience reviews. So I expect that number to. I expect more people will be going to see this. I imagine
think they're going to do a big second week.
It feels that way. It's articles have talked about how this is The Rock's biggest opening of all time of movies that he's led, and just all around, it seems to be kind of churning for a successful box office run that we talked about beforehand. Unfortunately, will probably be cut off at the knees by Black Panther in a couple of weeks. So kind of just unfortunate release timing that you couldn't get this movie out a couple weeks sooner, so that it would have kind of a clear kind of month in the theaters before it gets inevitably steamrolled by Black Panther. So I'm not sure it's gonna quite hit the highest of highs that Aquaman hit, which obviously is DC's not only billion-dollar movie, but one of the few that DC has had kind of inexplicably.
I talked about it before. Like, I don't know what happened overseas that this movie was just firing on every single like, this movie looked like prime Steph Curry overseas. Like, I don't know what Aquaman did, but I could definitely see this movie, this second week's probably going to be big. I mean, everybody's talking about that post-credit scene. I think they're riding on that high. And to be honest, that's not even like, it is just us, but it also is just smart marketing. Like, it's taking what you have and running with it. Like, taking social media and running with it.
I told you last week, he's a public relations genius.
He's a showman. He's a showman.
Yeah. He knows exactly what people kind of have been wanting out of the DC universe for a handful of years now. He knows that people have wanted Superman, and rather than let it be a surprise, he was just like, hey, look, Superman's gonna be in this, guys. I don't know what to tell you. If that doesn't get you excited, I don't know what will. He's like, it's a cool sequence, and hopefully you like the movie along the way en route to that sequence. And turns out the movie was pretty okay, pretty good.
So what's this movie about?
All right. So Teth Adam, right?
Teth Adam.
He's a guy.
He's a guy.
He's not a happy guy.
Yeah,
not a happy living.
But he's content.
He's
somewhat content.
Yep.
He's got a son.
And then
real rascal.
So they're looking for some type of ore, right? Goofy name.
Yeah,
I don't remember the name.
They're looking for
Eternium.
Eternium.
Goofy name.
That's the MacGuffin of the movie. It's the Eternium that turns into the crown of Sabak.
Yeah, so he's spooky. So this is some 5,000 years in the past. The people of Kahndaq are enslaved by obviously their higher ups, the king and kings and whatnot.
Yeah, King. Find out that king's name.
King something other has tasked all the poor people of Kahndaq to mine Eternium for the rest of their lives, essentially. And if you find the Eternium, you bring it to the king, and he's going to give you a great reward. What's that great reward? You get stabbed in the chest and kicked off a cliff.
Yep, 300 style.
Happy reward. So the child finds the Eternium, and he's like, I can free the people of Kahndaq with this, and the little spectre-y father figure that we don't know who it is tells him, don't do that, keep your head down. And he's like, screw that. I'm taking this Eternium and I'm running with it. And then, lo and behold, this child is brought before the king because he foments a revolution. Mm-hmm. Not great. Not a great idea. If you're a slave, don't be fomenting rebellion because you're going to get executed.
King Acton.
Sure.
Why does this movie start the same as Wonder Woman 2?
Why does this movie do a lot of things that invoke things from other comic book movies?
Because it's a comic book movie.
Yep, sure is. And then, so the king brings the child before him. He's like, well, now I'm cutting your head off.
Yeah.
And then, swings the sword, and then poof, the child's gone.
Yep. And then boom, he's in a place, and then somebody says, kid, you have the ability to overcome great fear. Nope, that's Green Lantern. Just kidding. Kid, you want some magical powers?
Just say the word.
Just say the word.
Shazam. And he's Black Adam is born. Mm-hmm. The champion. The champion of Kahndaq.
Did we spoil this? No, we didn't.
No. The champion.
Oh, right. Because at this point, you think that Dwayne Johnson's that kid.
Yeah. The champion of Kahndaq is born, Black Adam. He goes into the palace, there's a big explosion, and the king is dead and liberates Kahndaq, and then that's the last we hear of it. Because the king wants the crown of Sabak. Ooh. And then we flash forward. We're in the future. Kahndaq is not quite thriving and is once again under the occupation of a foreign entity, and the people are still being kind of not quite oppressed, but they're definitely under some martial scrutiny here from the
Intergang. So Intergang is like some Superman group that was working out of Metropolis. Who cares? Comics.
Yeah. So they kind of oversee Kahndaq at this point, and the people are not happy about it. They're not thrilled. And so this kind of ragtag group of main characters are looking for the crown of Sabak for some reason.
That might be one issue I have. Why look for the crown?
To hide it?
But was it not already hidden?
Who knows? Who's to say? Apparently not, because they found it. So
I might need something to explain that, because why would you look for something if it was already hidden? If you wanted to keep it out of arm's reach?
Because it's too dangerous.
No, it's because we need a third act in this movie.
Oh, just doubling back, because I was just scrolling my Twitter feed. The Damon Lindeloff Star Wars movie will be set after Rise of Skywalker, and may feature characters from the sequel trilogy, per The Hollywood Reporter.
I can see Daisy Ridley taking another crack at this.
Yeah.
John Boyega is never even coming within 700,000 feet of that facility.
Nope. But, okay. That was just a little bit of news that I stumbled upon.
Yeah, it popped up for me, but it's not as big as the last week's breaking news.
No. We're just going to go back to talk about Black Adam now.
You know what Zack Snyder didn't do? Zack Snyder didn't give him the curl. You gotta give him the curl. He gave him the curl when he was getting pummeled by Batman, but... Because I was looking at the scene where that explosion goes off, but he's got like that comb over the whole time. Give him the curl.
Yeah, so our ragtag group of main characters are looking for the crown of Sabak to re-hide it, I guess. So you got your main lady character. So Sarah Shahi plays the main lady. Mm-hmm. We got who else we got in this that plays so we got the Muhammad Amir plays her brother, the comic relief character.
Hilarious.
Yep, typical comic relief character. We have Marwan Kenzari, who plays like the guy who he knows some things. Yeah. He knows things and he's kind of seedy. Mm-hmm. And then there's a fourth guy who's dispatced with the first 10 minutes. What else are we talking about here? Are we spoiling this movie yet? Or are we,
we're past that.
All right,
half this movie's already been spoiled. It's by The Rock himself, so we're already been way past that. All right, so they're all looking for the crown of Sabak. Cool.
They found it.
Because it's Tomb Raider to start. Even the way she's dressed is just Tomb Raider for the first 10 minutes. So cool.
They found it. But guess who else found it?
The Intergang.
Oh, the Intergang. They found it.
Led by, drumroll, freaking Ishmael. You piece of crap.
Yeah. Dang.
Got him.
double cross. We got a double cross in the first 20 minutes of the movie.
That was a crazy double cross to start. But she's laying on, she's dead to rights. They've got all of them.
Because they get to the tomb. Yeah. The tomb of the champion.
Yeah.
Is where the crown of Sabak is. And they're like, yes.
Yeah. Yep. And then she's just like, all right, I only got one chance at this. And she's got a little Eternium that was passed down through her family. It enchants itself. She says the magic words.
Shoot her. Just shoot her.
Yeah, I don't know why that guy said, "What did you say?" Hold this bullet. Like, what are you waiting for?
Just shoot her.
Yeah.
Shoot her when the movie's over.
Yeah.
Credits.
Do you want to go into space with me? No. Ending crawl. You got it. It's over.
Yeah, so she says the magic words. Poof.
Iron Man, you want to get out of this cave? No. And Marvel Universe.
Terrorists just kill Iron Man. They behead him. Yeah. And then,
Jason Bourne falls through that window in the first Jason Bourne. The movie's over.
And then...
Can he survive that? Nah, he's not built like that.
Jason Bourne? Sure he is. The guy's indestructible.
Remember when Jeremy Renner was Jason Bourne for a bit?
Well, he was like Jason Bourne adjacent in the Bourne universe.
I see what you did there. Anyway.
Yeah, she says the magic word. She slams her hand on the floor. The whole thing lights up. Mm-hmm. Immediate red flags. If you're in her gang, the ancient tomb room is lighting up. Something bad's about to happen, and guess what? Something bad does happen. Mm-hmm. The champion of Kahndaq arrives. Yep. And he just, man, I can totally see why this movie could have almost been rated R.
Yeah, just absolutely dispatching him. He's got the Superman power set is back, like the in-universe practical power, like of just, super speed, like
incinerating folks.
Yeah, they don't do the slow motion stuff to start,
but they get there.
They do get there. Yeah. This movie did have potential to be way more serious than it divulged into.
Yeah,
and then it didn't.
Yeah,
which was probably a good decision.
He just absolutely marauds these intergang folks.
I love how they don't play around with how powerful he is. Like that's my other thing with Wonder Woman, specifically 1984. Like, how powerful is she and how powerful isn't she? Because I feel like Patty Jenkins had such an incredible handle on her power set in the first one, and then she kind of forgot about it in the second one at some bits. Like,
yeah, I mean, it's something that I think comic book movies can sometimes struggle with is demonstrating just how powerful these, especially the DC characters, because the DC characters, power scale wise, are pretty superior.
Well, I mean, they're supposed to be gods. So that's the whole thing.
And boy, does he feel like one. Yep. Because he's grabbing people by the neck and turning them into skeletons. Yep. He's just he just totally destroys this crew. And then he flies off. Mm-hmm. He's gone.
He's just not having any of this. He doesn't care about nothing.
Because he's been woken up after 5,000 years. Yeah. He's not happy. He's grumpy.
Yeah.
He's grumpy.
Yeah.
Grumpy Adam.
Grumpy Adam.
He's got the cloak. Mm-hmm. Cool cloak.
Cool cloak. Gets blown off.
Yeah.
Right away.
Yeah. There's a desert chase.
Before the desert chase, they have this slow motion. That was pretty cool. They do the Quicksilver thing.
Yep. Again.
Yep.
Ring the bell if you've seen most of these shots in a different comic book movie before.
Take a shot once you do that.
Take a shot when you recognize a shot from a different comic book movie.
You might be dead by the end of this.
Yeah, so he does the Quicksilver, tears through a bunch of other guys, splattering. Just people are being splattered left, right, and center. The main protagonist, the two of them that are left, escape. The double crosser is presumed dead, and so Black Adam, he's just tearing through guys. He stops their truck because why does he stop their truck?
I don't think he stops their truck. I think they just stop the truck in front of him.
Oh, that's right. He lands there, and they're like, "Uh-oh!" And then the intergang shoots a Eternium rocket at him, and he catches it. It's the trailer shot. Mm-hmm. When he catches the rocket, it explodes in his face, and he's like, "Oh, now I'm real mad."
Now I'm real pissed.
Now you didn't piss me off.
Mm-hmm.
And then
that you really pissed me off.
And then he's gone.
Yep.
And then everyone returns home.
But he immediately comes back because he gets, for lack of a better term, infected by the Eternium, and he's just like, that hurt. That hurt a bit.
So they take him home?
Yeah, they take him to the crib, to the hideout.
Not where I would take him.
Yeah. Well, all while this is going on, Adriana, who, woke him up, she's a fugitive this whole time because they're essentially freedom fighters. They're trying to liberate Kahndaq. Should they have leaned into that a little bit more?
Probably.
If this movie felt more like the first 30 minutes of this movie for the entire movie, they probably would have leaned into that more. But then you get into Batman vs. Superman territory where the moral implications are just bleeding away from the actual, what this movie's about.
Yep. So he's in bed. He's discovered he's being watched over by Adriana's son, who
obviously is supposed to be the metaphor for his son.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest. Didn't love this kid in this movie. No. Definitely one of the weaker aspects. But he's a kid.
He plays such a big part, and he's so integral to this plot.
But just doesn't quite doesn't quite deliver. Which again, he's a kid, so it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not saying his career's over, but yeah, just a little bit less than I could have hoped.
He's Freddie Freeman
because he's supposed to be kind of like the emotional tether to Black Adam.
Yeah. So he's, like I said, he's Freddie Freeman. He's a big superhero fan, and he's just like, Black Adam, we gotta get this marketing party. Is this the most practical character in this universe, though? Gotta get this marketing scheme done, buddy. Because he says, like, everybody you know is dead, man. So, and Black Adam's like, aw.
Yeah, thanks. Then, again, this borrows from a lot of superhero things. Where, like, Black Adam wakes up, typical fish out of water, superpowered person trope. He doesn't understand anything. He doesn't understand doors.
No, he does.
He does. But he's just walking through walls.
I love that. I love that so much that he just he doesn't respect about or care about anybody.
No. And
it's like that idea of, like, emotion. Like, he's already been emotionally snapped to the breaking point, so, like, he does, like, normal, decencies. He just won't. It's not that he doesn't understand, in my opinion. I just don't think he cares anymore. Like, the worst thing that could have happened to him already happened to him, so he's like...
He flies to the center of town. There's a big statue of him, and he's just like, oh, this is a nice statue. I like this statue quite a bit.
I'm not a hero.
He keeps saying that.
Yeah.
Over and over again.
Take another shot if you hear a cliche line in this movie. You're gonna be dead.
While this is going on, back at the ranch that we have yet to be introduced to, the JSA.
Yeah, so Hawkman, all this is going on. He's back in town, and Hawkman's...
Aldous Hodge.
Man.
Fantastic.
Yeah. He's so cheesy, I love it.
He's chatting with Viola Davis.
Yeah, well, remember what I told you. You know what Aldous Hodge is in this movie? He's what Cyclops is. This is literally an exact, like, what Cyclops would be. Like, he's the leader being, led by somebody, but he's still their field leader, so he's calling the shots out there.
So he's chatting with Amanda Waller, who just runs everything now?
I got some things on that. I don't think it's as simple as she runs everything, but I think she hasn't betrayed the trust of everybody yet. Because Peacemaker might have undone some of these things, but I have a big grandiose theory that I'm saving for the Superman cameo at the end. That's going to explain all of this.
Okay. And she's like, look, Hawkman, I'm going to level with you. Mm-hmm. Black Adam's back.
Yeah. Oh, crap.
He's real strong. He's real scary. Mm-hmm. Can you maybe... And Hawkman's like, in typical Hawkman fashion, he's like, I'll handle this. Yeah. He crosses his arms.
Yep. I think he really does cross his arms. That's a real thing he does.
I'll handle this. And then she's like, well, I'm Viola Davis from the DC Universe, so you better get a team, damn it.
Get a team. Wait, the studio paid for a team. We're getting a team.
I don't show up unless there's a team involved.
Yeah. What's the team looking like? And then they go into like an ESPN like sizzle reel of what the team's looking like.
Yeah. So here's your introduction. Mm-hmm. We get our two rookies. Mm-hmm. We get Cyclone and Atom Smasher, who I quite liked both of these characters in this. Yeah. And are
the rumors true that they don't get a lot of backstory? No. I definitely think that
they get enough backstory for what this movie is.
Atom Smasher has the coolest one, I think, because. Surprise cameo, Henry Winkler's in this movie as the original Al Rothstein, which just caught me off guard when I saw it. I'm like, wait a minute, is that Henry Winkler?
Yeah, so
the Fonz?
I have a logistical issue with this.
Okay.
So, original Al Rothstein is his uncle, but he's also Al Rothstein.
What, you can't name your uncle after... Well, I mean, also, like, let's just say, like, it's his, like, sister or whatever, and then had the second Al Rothstein, like... This guy's also a superhero. Like, why wouldn't she name her son after her superhero brother? That's nice...
You don't want your son to be a superhero also?
Also, his name's Al? It's not even
a... And then, we get Quintessa Swindell as Cyclone. And, man, out of all the... There was a lot of cool kind of power demonstrations in this, but I think she was my favorite.
Yeah.
As far as how they presented her powers in this, I really liked her character.
Yeah, they definitely used those. I don't know what... It feels like they were using, like, those high-speed, like, really high frame rate cameras, because they shot, like, that whole last scene on that, where, like, it was just the epitome of slow-mo. Like, Zack Snyder was just pumping his fist in the background during that last 20 minutes. But, no, it's really cool. I genuinely hope all of them come back. I mean...
Well.
Yeah, well...
So Viola Davis is like, that's cute. You have these two young kids who don't know anything, but come on, give me some juice, Hawkman. Yeah. He's like, I got the juice here. It's Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah. It's probably my favorite character in this movie.
I think it's a lot of people's favorite character.
So
he swaggers in.
Oh my god, he's got a robe at some point in this movie. Like, at mid-mission, like, they're just traveling, he's just in a robe. That's so cool.
The drip god himself.
I think I leaned over to you in the theater, and you're just like, is that a robe? And I was like, he's dripped out, man. Just don't ask questions.
The drip god himself.
Him and Hawkman's relationship is so organic. It's so good. Like, you genuinely feel the admiration, which begs the question, is this Carter Hall like a reincarnation thing of Carter Hall? Like, that's how they were able to know each other for so long? Or?
I think it's possible, and the only evidence I have to back that up is him saying, "I don't fear death." Mm-hmm. Hawkman says that way later in the movie.
Yep.
Because that's kind of like the central kind of emotional kind of core to the JSA is fate knows Hawkman's destined to die at the end of this, and Hawkman says very poignantly, like, "I don't fear death," which makes me feel like possibly this is him reincarnated.
Yeah, because also we don't see Kendra Saunders, we don't see her in this movie, but I genuinely think if they go through with this, and Aldous Hodge even said it at the premiere, like, obviously they're going to ask, like, who else would you want in there? And I think he said Mr. Terrific, like, that would be a good addition to this. And also I think that you're going to get Hawkgirl in there too. Like, you're going to do the both of them together. So
yeah, Fate swaggers in, classic. One more mission for the old gunslinger trope, and as soon as he's like, "You came out of retirement for this," I went, "Uh-oh." Yeah. Not the wise old sage character coming out of retirement for one more run.
But this team is fun, man. They had so many good elements in this movie. Like, like, all their personalities are bouncing off of each other. Like the wise old sages versus the two kids that are new on the block.
It feels very natural in a movie where it could have felt very forced. I will say this. The humor in this worked for me. I thought most of the humor that they attempted landed for the most part.
yeah, sure.
Especially as it relates to the dynamic with the JSA, where like Hawkman is this kind of like Cyclops-esque leader. He gets swatted by Atom Smasher at one point accidentally, and he hits the me and you.
Yeah, when we get back on the ship, me and you. It's like, sorry, boss. We'll have it again.
And yeah, I mean, going back to Hawkman, he is very like puff your chest out,
stoic
hero, you know, for lack of a better word, the truth, justice, and literally truth, justice, and American way.
Yeah, and that's an aspect that, you know, maybe they could have dove into that a little bit more, like, because she gives that dialogue, she gives that monologue a little bit where she talks about, like, we don't need you. It's all the whole, like, this isn't a black and white, like, you guys are going to come in here and save the day. Like,
it is a very interesting concept, and in a way, I'm kind of glad it didn't.
Yeah, I don't think this is the movie, like, not. And it's not about, this is, like, obviously this is the movie to do it, but it's, like, the fun movie blockbuster.
It would have ended up trying to be a little bit too more, it would have been in over its skis if it tried to tackle that kind of colonialism message that was layered in there.
Right.
I thought it was layered in there enough for this movie.
Right.
I think there's a better movie in better hands that could deliver that message, and this movie was not that movie.
No. I think, and like my whole point with, like, you get Christopher McQuarrie and Joseph Kosinski to do Superman, like, there's a version of, like, this movie, and then another filmmaker is gonna, like, possibly get the next Black Adam, and then you dive deeper into some of those themes.
Yeah. And then once we get settled here, it's pretty much just a bunch of squabbles for the rest of this movie.
Hawkman and Black Adam hate each other. They're just boxing for like 50 minutes.
Yeah, so that's basically what happens is Intergang is kind of just trying to wrangle this whole situation.
Well, they want the crown. That's the big thing. Well, you find out that Ishmael's alive and that he's evil.
He's what?
He's evil. There's another twist for him, too, at the end of this.
And another twist on top of that twist.
Yeah.
That you find out way later.
Yep. So, Ishmael's evil. He's working with the Intergang. They're trying to chase down this crown. Black Adam's back, and he sees the statue. And he sees Intergang, and they're just like, "Hey, can you help us out, liberate us?" So before Black Adam,
and he's like, "Nope,
don't care,
not interested."
Yeah, and then he's just like, "Yeah, I guess
they do have guns.
They do have guns, but I have lightning in my hands. So, boom, you looking for this?" So earlier, when he's in the apartment, they're playing The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. He's watching it, and then he blows up the TV. And then this is where this movie, for me, officially leans into knowing exactly what it is. And this is a big, loud, stupid, like, summer-esque action blockbuster. They reenact it. They even play the music. The Intergang member has his hand over the gun, and Black Adam's just got his hand shaking in his hand, and he just shoots everybody with the lightning in slow motion. And then the movie's just off the walls after this. I love it.
Yeah. And then, the kid's trying to get Black Adam to workshop the catchphrase, tell them the man in black sent you, like sent you to hell, because Black Adam's like, that's what I do. I end it. I end things. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to end things. And he's like, well, if you're gonna do that, you gotta make it cool, man. Make it cool. And he's like, I like the black aesthetic that you got going on here. Just layer in a cool catchphrase. And then he tries it once, and he's like, no, you gotta say it before you kill them, not after. And he's like, all right, whatever, I'll keep working on it. And then the JSA shows up. Yeah,
and the JSA is like, well, Intergang, like, they're running amok. They find Adriana, and they're just like, hey, stop, halt. And then he's just like, nope, and she runs away.
They do a little like the cup switching.
Yep,
with the crown.
Yep. And then he's in the air. He's just like questioning. He's holding them, and then the JSA shows up, and they're just like, "Should we get to work?" And then we get to work. So Black Adam just drops these two guys.
Hawkman does the Black Panther drop out of the bottom of the ship with his arms crossed.
Pretty cool. He's got the big Easter egg for him is his ship. His suit is all made out of nth metal, which possibly can pay off later for something. But everything's nigh indestructible.
He is very T'Challa in this.
Sure.
for his presentation.
What did I say? That he's T'Challa mixed with Sam Wilson?
Yeah, like his presentation is very T'Challa.
Because he's from Louisiana?
Yeah. And
why does Sam Wilson not use the same things that Scott Lang used? He can't even apply for a loan.
Well, because...
Don't say it.
Because racism, Court.
See, if this movie tried to tackle these themes, it wouldn't have worked.
No, not at all.
You got to do better, Warner Brothers.
You got to do better, Black Adam.
What do you mean by
that? Yeah. So it's on. First fight between the JSA, mostly Hawkman and Black Adam.
Yeah. So they beefed Hawkman up for this. This man is like just taking.
If he was fighting anyone other than Black Adam, he would probably win.
Yeah, that's how, like, they genuinely made Hawkman, like, one of the most powerful characters. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he went up against, like, Aquaman or something, if, like, he might be able to beat Aquaman. Like, that's how powerful they make him in this movie. Like,
yeah, so it's pretty much Dr. Fate and Hawkman versus Black Adam for round one.
Yeah.
Cyclone and Atom Smasher just, like, hang on the ship, and we'll handle this, because we're the JSA. And they don't handle it. Black Adam is kind of gaining the upper hand. Dr. Fate's got some neat little
He's
tricks.
like the only one that's actually like genuinely affecting him, because like Hawkman's just getting in the way.
He puts on a big spooky voice when he's Dr. Fate. He's like, I'm Dr. Fate and you can't stop me because I am the universe.
Yeah.
He gets his Sandman.
The Lords of Order.
He gets his Sandman on.
Yeah, he does.
With the voice. And then Black Adam's like, all right, I've had about enough of you. Get out of here. Zap. Lots of zapping, and then this is where the first kind of argument comes in, because like Adriana's like, what are you doing? Like, he's liberating us, he's helping us, and he's like,
yeah, what did you do for us in this last couple minutes? You've done nothing. Like,
Hawkman's like, I'm stopping him from killing people, and they're like, they're bad guys. What are you talking about? And he's like, we have to stop him, he's too powerful. And she's like, all this time, like thousands of years, Kahndaq has been under one foot or the other, and you guys have literally never done anything about it.
And then the person that finally frees us from this shows up, and now you guys want to show up?
Yeah. So you guys have never been here ever. You're lucky you even know where we are. But now that we have our own hero, you want to come in and stop us. And like I said, it's a perfect amount of that.
Yep.
Because
stop right there.
Get back to the punching.
Yeah. And boy, do they.
Yeah.
So what happens after this? The Crown's just going place to place in this movie. The heck happens after this? They have their little tussle.
They kidnapped the kid.
Yeah, and now it's another race.
And now it's regrouping time. And then
now it's like, you guys better work. She pulls a straight up mom with two arguing siblings, like, you guys better work together or else. And they do. Well, like 7 seconds.
They work together to get some information. And then they get back.
I love that so much. I love it.
Yeah, they all the meanwhile, I should add, Dr. Fate has seen the death of Hawkman.
Yep.
And he's like,
because it's like everything's going good, and like Hawkman's like, what's wrong, man? Like, something, you're not telling me something. He's just like, I'm still seeing this future. Like, the future's still telling me like something's gonna incinerate the world. Like, I can't get, and you're gonna die in the process. I can't get it out of my head.
And he's like, but Black Adam? He's like, Fate's like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, so they do a tale of two interrogations between Hawkman and Black Adam. Black Adam does it his way, Hawkman does it his way. They get back to the apartment. They talk about it. Black Adam's like, hey, nobody died. I got the information. What more do you want from me?
And he learned sarcasm.
Yeah. And Hawkman's like, I want you to stop being so dangerous.
Yeah.
And then they fight again.
And they fight in like such a minuscule, like Fate's just like...
He's teleporting from chair to chair.
Yeah, just
watching.
Yeah.
Eating a mint.
He's so British.
God, I love Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah, he's so good.
He's incredible.
They get into the kid's bedroom fighting, and it's literally it's what Deadpool's gonna do in the third Deadpool movie. Like, he's just ripping posters, like incinerating Superman's face. Like,
yeah, they destroy this apartment.
Yeah, but specifically that kid's room, because it's all of the Justice League memorabilia.
No, like, Hawkman's like, I hate you, and Black Adam's like, I hate you more.
Yeah. And then Black Adam goes in for a punch, but ow, it's the crown. He punched the crown, and he's just like, the kid hit the crown.
This movie did Batman vs Superman better than Batman vs Superman.
Hawkman vs Black Adam is such a that's the movie that people want.
Yeah, so they have the crown. They're like, great, we have the crown, but we don't have the kid. Because, again, we did the cup switching thing, except this time we did it with the kid.
Yeah.
And Ishmael had him the whole time. Took him back to his secret base of operations.
Yep.
And places a ransom phone call.
Yep. So they're on the ship. They're on Hawkman's ship, and they're just like... And then this is a genuinely funny part of the movie, because... you're just not gonna have... You're not gonna not have Power by Kanye West in this movie at some point.
We should mention there is a through line in this where is it when Black Adam, it's either when he's fighting the JSA or when he's fighting Inner Gang for like the fourth time, his rage gets the best of him.
Right. So
and he like nukes town square.
Yeah, he keeps overpowering himself, and also throughout the movie you keep getting a little bit more and more of like what actually happened 5,000 years ago in Kahndaq. So at first you think that Black Adam's that kid that liberates liberates Kahndaq.
Then it turns out like it was more like he did it out of revenge.
Yeah.
Like he killed the king out of revenge.
Right, and he wasn't this good person. Like he killed the king out of that rage that he can't control. Like he basically goes like supernova and like obliterates anything within like rage.
Which is the big explosion at the palace that they showed a couple of times.
Right.
You find out that's what that was.
Right. Then you get further reveal, and then you want to go for the big reveal?
Not yet.
We'll
hold it because they're flying to meet Ishmael, who is like, give me the crown. It's hostage exchange 101. Give me the thing I want. We'll give you the thing. Hawkman's like, absolutely not.
Nope.
Under no circumstance. At first, Hawkman's like, who cares about that crown?
Yeah.
And then Dr. Fate's like, you should care about that crown.
Yep, because Hawkman's just like, I was sent in to take out Black Adam. Who the heck is Sabak, and why should I care about his crown?
And Dr. Fate's like, he's the devil.
Yeah, he literally could, and probably is the actual devil, so maybe we should.
Hawkman's like, all right, fine. Under no circumstances can you give up that crown.
Yeah, because I'm stoic.
And I'm also taking Black Adam to prison after this.
Yeah. Well, that's a big thing throughout the movie. It's just like, you're going to jail one way or another.
Black Adam's like, make me.
Yeah. And then they punch. This movie definitely does deliver on, like, make me. Oh, yeah. You are, yeah.
So you're right. This is a legitimately funny part of the movie because Hawkman's like, all right, here's the plan.
Yeah, they do like it feels like Black Adam's inside. It's like what we were teased like when the concept of this movie is announced.
Yeah, they're teaming up.
Yeah, Black Adam's like in the JSA now, which is a cool concept.
Yeah, so Hawkman's like, this is the plan. You do this. You do this. We go in quiet, and then he goes to turn to Black Adam, and Black Adam's gone.
Yep.
It's like, oh, son of a bitch.
And then Power by Kanye West plays, and he's just clearing out the whole. I love that turn that he does. He's like, my God. He's just gone. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so again, another Black Adam versus Inner Gang one-sided beatdown where he kills a bunch of people again. And he is killing them.
Oh my god, yeah.
He did that no killing thing for one interrogation, and that's all you get. So they get in there, Ishmael's
got a gun to the kid's head.
Behind a magic shield that even Black Adam can't penetrate.
Yep.
And then he's like, give it.
Yeah, give it. And then Adriana's like, yeah, that's my son. I already lost my husband. I'm not going to lose my son. And Hawkman's like, nope.
No, you will lose your son.
Yeah, you will lose your son. It's for the betterment of America.
Yeah, and then they get inside the shield. He gives the crown up, or she gives the crown up, and he's going to shoot the kid anyway, because of course, because he's the villain.
And then Black Adam, out of his infinite rage that he has stored inside of him, goes supernova again, and Hawkman's like, Fate, get ready, we got to do this. And they protect the kid, they protect Adriana, and then the place just literally, he like incinerates.
Yeah,
he fuses the crown with Ishmael. That's how like
His skeleton.
Yeah, literally his skeleton.
Yeah.
And then they just decide to put it in a bag and just put it on the ship.
And then Black Adam's like, I'm done.
Yeah, he's like, he and then A, you learn the true backstory. B, he gives up his power. He's just like, I like, fine, you got me. Like,
I realize I'm doing more harm than good.
The Ishmael says, like, I heard the stories, like, you wept for days when a root died. I wonder if you'll do the same for this kid. And then Hawkman, when he goes back to the palace, says, I finally got something. Who's a root? And then you figure out that big statue in the sky is not Black. It's not Teth Adam. It's his son.
The child was the champion.
Yeah, the child was the champion. It was Black Adam's son. You see the full version of it. That man, his father that took him away, actually was the Rock instead. That was Teth Adam, and that his son liberated them. He was
a good man.
Yeah, was an actual good person.
Was a hero.
Yep. And he was the champion of conduct. He was going on missions. He was saving as many people as he could. Little Easter egg, which was cool. The person that plays the adult version, like the Shazam version of Black Adam's son, was actually the guy that plays Young Rock.
Oh,
which I thought was pretty cool. So what he does is the king goes after true champions. You know, he goes after them. He goes after the Rock. His mother is killed. Well, no. First, they go after the Rock himself. They go after Teth Adam, and he's just like, you know what I'm going to do? Here's my power, Dad, because what other superhero than your father could there be? So he transfers his power to Teth Adam.
And wouldn't you know it, as soon as he does that,
the king's assassins show up.
He's littered with arrows.
Yeah, just gets lit up.
And then, Teth Adam becomes the champion of conduct, and he's vengeful.
Yep. He's not, Teth Adam was never meant to be, he wasn't ever, like, pretending himself to be this good person. Like, he didn't care about liberating anybody. He was not
entombed in Kahndaq. He was imprisoned by the Shazam wizards.
So basically, obviously, he goes and then you finally get the full sequence. They're trying to get the crown of Sabbac to the king so he can resurrect Sabbac and then he'll have his power, but Black Adam shows up and then he incinerates the place. And then the wizards are like, yeah, we made a mistake.
We goofed.
We shouldn't have gave that power to a kid that would in turn give that power to his father. So you're going in the ground, buddy.
Yeah, so they imprison Black Adam.
Hansu's back.
Yep. They imprison Black Adam, and then he tells them, like, I'll say the word, you lock me up. You never let me say that word ever again unless the plot in the third act demands I say that word again. Then let me say the word.
Yeah.
He says Shazam. He reverts back to his human form. They take him away to the weird underwater prison.
Yeah. So the weird underwater prison's there. Then Amelia Harcourt from Peacemaker shows up.
You're Amelia Harcourt from Peacemaker.
Gets her 10 seconds of glory, and then that's it.
Yep. They lock Black Adam in an underwater prison cell.
Not only by himself, but there's a lot of people in there. So
yeah.
I wonder who the heck... Well, again, this is this universe being like, hey, there's some people that are around that can cause some trouble. So
yep. They're like, well, I guess we gotta stop. I guess we did it.
Mm-hmm.
We did it. Black Adam's locked up. The bad guy got incinerated. Mm-hmm. And all's well that ends well.
Yeah.
And then...
Dr. Fate's like... I'm just trying to have a good old nap because he's like 100 years old.
But my visions.
So the mask the helmet wakes him up and it's just like Hawkman's like, "What's wrong? Did we like mission good?" And he's just like, "Nope."
But like,
yeah, Hawkman's like, "Come on."
So
man.
This whole time I
ordered Uber Eats, man.
There's this riddle inscribed on the crown that what is it? Life
is the only path to death, and everybody's like, yeah.
And then they're thinking about it,
mm-hmm.
and they're looking at it, they're like,
and they invert it.
They were like, wait a second, because when Ishmael was right before he was incinerated, he said, "Death is the path to life," and they're like, maybe he just said it wrong. Nope. Turns out he didn't. Turns out you flip the crown around. Death is the path to life.
Yep.
Ishmael has a reverse Shazam sequence.
So he gets thrown into the underworld, and then the devils from the underworld, like it's the same. It's like the reverse of because
some might say on the reverse.
Come on, man. So so everybody knows, the reason why the wizards do what they do is Shazam or Black Adam himself, like the gods that go for him, like that was the previous gods from what Billy, like, you know, the gods that Wonder Woman just is the daughter of, like Zeus, like all of them, like they're not the same gods as Black Adam. Zeus stinks, man. Sucks.
Zeus. I've been playing a lot of God of War recently.
Yeah.
Me and Zeus aren't on good terms.
I can't wait for God of War Ragnarok.
We'll talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah.
So Ishmael's there, the devils are there, they're like, Ishmael,
Yeah.
become the champion of the devil.
Yeah, of the devils. Plural. Speak the name. Don't say the name.
Shazam!
Nope.
Dang it!
Sabak. He says Sabak.
Mephisto.
Nope. Oh, we didn't talk about it. We said we were going to talk about it. We didn't talk about it.
I don't want it yet.
Yeah, let's save it.
We'll hold it.
Yeah.
Ishmael becomes the devil.
Yep.
His corpse vanishes.
Yep, and he turns into Sabak.
And they're like, what the?
Yeah.
He's gone.
Yeah. Crap.
He's going to Kahndaq, of course, to sit on the big chair.
Yep.
Again.
Yeah, because once he sits on the big chair, which is just never explained, but...
Death taxes and big chairs.
I feel like they left the scene out because he's, like, Hawkman says, like, don't let him sit on the chair, but there was never a scene that specified, like, why, like...
What's up with the chair?
What's up with the chair? Like, because, I mean, you put 2 and 2 together, like, he sits on the chair and he, like, can just sky beam it. Oh,
Big
no,
sky
they
beam.
did a sky beam.
It's a red one this time, though.
Okay. Oh, we got sky beams and too much.
So the JSA's like, well, we got to go stop the devil now, guys. Let's go do that because we're the JSA.
Yeah.
And we're gonna stop the devil.
Yeah. And Dr. Fate's just like, buddy, one of us is not making it out of this.
I'm not coming back, Chief.
I'm not coming back, Chief. So that might be it for one of them. So yeah, we're there. We're in the third act, and then
Big fight.
Yeah, and then it gets pretty loud and big. Like Dr. Fate's just like, all right, we need Black Adam for this. He's like, we're all powerful, but like we're not him. Like,
yeah,
I'm even powerful, but I have other things I need to do to ensure that this works.
Yeah, because the JSA get absolutely
they don't
pummeled.
They don't have anything for Sabak.
So they get to the temple. Sabak's there, and Dr. Fate's like, I'll handle this.
Man launches into one of the coolest scenes.
He locks them out of the temple with his magic, and Hawkman's like, damn it, Dr. Fate, why did you do this?
I love you, Dr. Fate.
You were my friend. Dr. Fate's
so was
like,
I.
He's like, I have to do this. I love you, old friend. You're the best. Sayonara.
Yeah. So he goes to fight Sabak.
He's like, I lived for like 100 years. You know, I was around when the war ended.
Yeah, a little
like he saw people go to war.
Well, that had to have been World War I. Yeah, that was a really cool. I thought they were gonna throw like a little Wonder Woman Easter egg in there, which I mean, a roundabout was like.
Yeah, they didn't see each other.
Yeah, it's just like they, because that.
Well, he didn't go to war.
He was a kid, but like the helmet gives him more life because he should be way older than he is.
Magic helmet.
That's millions of years old from another planet.
Costume looks great.
Yeah. Oh my god. They actually put the. I can't.
A lot of maskless Pierce Brosnan in this.
Yep. You know what? I was gonna say I was surprised. It's The Rock, man. He probably Pierce, man. Just put the suit on, man.
They Iron Man him a little bit.
Yeah, sure.
With the HUD, which was a little goofy.
Yeah. So it led to one of the coolest scenes in the movie, though.
Yeah, so it's on Dr. Fate versus Sabak. Yeah. It's on. He's doing the Doctor Strange versus Thanos.
Truthfully, yeah.
Thing.
But at the same time, he projects himself into the prison in the middle of nowhere in Kansas. And then he's just like, all right, Black Adam. All right, Teth. You could be a bad person, but I don't think you're a bad or a good person.
You're necessary.
You're necessary. Like, we need you right now. You're the only person that's going to be able to defeat Sabak.
Say the words.
Somewhere Billy Batson's like, what am I, chopped liver? Don't I have the same powers as this guy?
But he don't got
that dog in him.
He doesn't have that dog in him. So yeah.
He's got like that chihuahua in him.
He frees Black Adam with his dying breath.
He does the injustice thing.
Yeah. Yeah, he does.
Yep.
The Dr. Fate jutsu.
Yeah, that was freaking cool.
He frees Black Adam. Black Adam has a man fight with some prison guards.
Yeah. He's still like an ancient warrior from like 5,000 years ago.
Yeah, so he gets a The Rock action sequence.
Oh yeah, of course.
Sabak kills Dr. Fate, right? Just as Hawkman gets in there.
Yep.
Wouldn't you know it?
Yep.
Dr. Fate's beaten. The helmet's kicked down the stairs.
Man, I felt that death, man.
I did too.
Yeah, I felt that.
Yeah, the helmet's kicked down the stairs very unceremoniously. The helmet vanishes.
Yep.
And then Hawkman versus Sabak round 2.
Well, Sabak sits on the throne.
Yep.
And then Skybeam. Crap.
Zombies come to life.
Yeah, but at this time, Dr. Fate's like, listen, Adam, listen, Teth, you got to get back.
The people rally.
Yeah, he rallies himself. He's like,
the people of Kahndaq are like, we're not gonna take it.
Oh, they should have played that song. That would have been so much better.
They go to war with the CGI.
Speaking of music, this score is so The Rock.
Yeah.
It's like an actually pretty good score, but then it's just hype. Yeah. Like you can genuinely listen to this to work out to.
Because you need the people of Kahndaq. You need the CGI monsters to fight something, so they fight the people of Kahndaq who are armed with pipes and bikes and all sorts of other
bikes.
All sorts of the kid's got a skateboard.
Yeah.
He's like the rallying force. He does the the Diamond Dallas Page diamond cutter.
Well, he's the surrogate for the sun.
Throw the rock. Throw the rock.
The ADR, like they dub his voice for whatever reason.
It's so weird. There's issues with this movie.
Yeah, listen. This is not a great movie. It just
I had fun with it.
But it's fun.
Throw your rocks up in the air, and rally for Kahndaq.
Yep.
Meanwhile, Black Adam just drowns.
But then, and he sees his son, and his son's like, "Not today, not today." Dad.
What do we say to the god of death?
Yeah, not today.
Shazam?
Death will have me when it's earned me.
Shazam?
Yep. And he's back. He's got a brand new suit.
Yeah. Yep. I don't know where he got the new suit from.
He's got it's magic. It doesn't matter. It's comic accurate. He's got the gold boots. He's got the sash.
Yep.
Cool.
Meanwhile, Hawkman's getting at work.
And he's got the cape. He gets the cape.
He does get the cape. Hawkman, that's how you know he's a hero now. Mm-hmm. Hawkman's getting that work.
Anti-hero. Watch it, man.
Hawkman's getting that work.
Oh, yeah. Hawkman's getting just...
From Sabak?
And then he gets stabbed, and the vision comes true.
And you're like, oh, no!
No, not Alex Hodge.
Not another character in this movie. And then, once you know it, clones of Hawkman appear. He's holding Fate's helmet, and he's like, I learned that trick from an old friend. And I'm like, I'm not sure you earned that emotional resonance movie.
But I'll take it.
But I'll take it.
I'll take it. And then it's on, and then guess what? Teth Adam shows up. Superhero landing. He's there.
Big fight.
Him and Sabak are punching it out.
It's pretty short.
It is pretty short.
Pretty short fight.
Yeah.
And then the moment of the movie that made me go, whoa. He grabs Sabak by the horns.
Well, Hawkman says, like, you gotta control it this time. He goes nuclear, but he's just like, you gotta channel it this time. Like, you gotta channel all your anger into something.
Like, I get it.
Yeah. Shut up, Hawkman. I know what to do.
Grabs him by the horns, and then he
rips this guy in half.
Well, he perfects his catchphrase.
Yeah. Tell him the men in black sent you.
And then, he rips the devil in half.
When I saw that for the first time, I went, what? That was crazy.
Yeah. And then that's it.
That's it. The sky beam goes away.
Black Adam does the I'm gonna sit on this throne like a gangster.
Well, yeah, because like the JSA is just like, all right, we're leaving. we're going. We did what we needed to do. You're not too bad, Black Adam.
Stay here,
though.
Stay in Kahndaq forever.
Yeah, we out. We'll probably be in our own movie soon. Don't worry about that.
And then he sits on the throne. Black Adam does the thing. Black Adam style. He sits on the throne.
He does the comic page,
and then
just destroys the throne. He's just like, how does it feel? He does the panel, and then he's just like, no. No.
And then
that's movie.
Movie ends,
but
I was satisfied.
Yeah, it's fun, man. It's just
like I said, there's bits that don't land. Like I said, I don't think Adriana and the child were particularly compelling. But I think, like I said, they were there to deliver a moral message that this movie did not have the capacity to deliver, and I'm glad it didn't deliver. Mm-hmm. As much as we want kind of more sometimes.
Yeah. This
was not the messenger.
Yeah.
This movie was not the messenger for those messages.
The biggest compliment I can give this movie is that it had me wanting more from this universe. Like now, it's the thing. Like I genuinely now have questions about what this universe can hold. Like as a movie. It's like I said, it's dumb, it's loud. The Rock gets to be the Rock. The
movie also ends Goofy Fantastic Four style when they're like, "What do we call you?"
Oh yeah,
and then the movie ends.
Yeah, whatever.
Again,
yeah,
it's just a movie that I give points to movies that know exactly what they are, and you can get away with like the cheesier stuff when you know what you are.
Right,
and that's what this movie ultimately at the end of the day was. It knew what it was, and it was the better for it, in my opinion. That's why I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I just lost myself for
That's what I'm
2 hours,
yeah.
and I didn't try to overanalyze or overthink of it. I just took what they presented to me, and I enjoyed what I saw. The CGI, like I said to you after we walked out, the CGI for me falls on like kind of two planes of existence. It can be distractingly bad in some movies, or it can really enhance the experience in the case of like Avatar. or it can land somewhere in the middle, which is where I think this lands, where it's neither of those things, doesn't enhance the movie, it's not distractingly bad that it hurts the movie, it's just there. I thought the action sequences were really great.
Yeah, yep. It blends the Snyder with the New Age, I think. Like, it pays homage to what Snyder kind of, incepted with Man of Steel, and like even down to that first where he comes back, like the speed of which he fights, like those sequences with him and Hawkman, like I was just sitting there, I'm like, this is just cool, like this is just comic book panel coolness.
Exactly what I said to you.
This doesn't need to be some like insane hand to hand like end all be like.
Sometimes I just want a comic book movie where comic book characters do comic book stuff.
Yep. Atom Smasher's just grow, like no explanation. The only
his suit looks great too.
His suit was cool. Quintessa's Cyclone's suit was cool. Cool.
Black Adam's suits were cool.
Yeah, Fate's suit was pretty
Fate's suit was great, and I love the little alterations they made to the Hawkman outfits.
Yep.
With the red and black.
Yeah, red and black, and then he gets the that nth metal kind of. He can like control what weapon he. Is he just a Louisianan billionaire?
Who knows?
Who knows is right. Like, I love that he's the leader of the JSA, but
I want to see more from the JSA.
I want to see, like, I do think we're going to get I don't have a doubt that we're going to get a JSA movie. Like,
I would love
especially
that.
if this second movie performs. Like, obviously, Noah's, how do you say his last name? Hang on. Centino or something like
Centeno.
that? Centennial. Noah Centennial, like, obviously he had a run where like everybody loves every girl loved that guy. Like
I liked him and her like together as like the rookies of that kind of.
Yeah, I think they're gonna exploit, like, give them a relationship in the next one. Whatever.
Aldous Hodge is like kind of the grumpy leader who has to kind of like babysit these two kids.
Yeah, and then you just introduce more dynamics. Like, give him, because I do want, like, again, like if you get like a bigger, better like movie like filmmaker on this, like some more seasoned writers that can do subtlety, like you put some more subtlety in this JSA movie. Like I think this JSA movie can sit somewhere in between this and like the Schneider cut. Like there's this like nice realm where it can be in between those two things.
Mm-hmm.
So if you kind of lean towards that, like you can have a lot of fun with that. Like, but I do want to see like some more aspects of Aldous Hodge, because I think he's 2-dimensional. I don't think he's 3-dimensional. Like he sits right in between 1 and 3. Like he's not so bland, but he's not like this, like, he's very much the general leader, field leader of this team.
But I think he also learned something in this movie.
Yeah, he did definitely learn something. And I think there's something, especially if you explore, because obviously the Thanagarians and like Hawkman and Hawkgirl, like they have a rich history. Like you can do a lot. And if you introduce, like, they might go get some bigger actress to play Hawkgirl, like do that for the JSA movie. That would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I agree.
I wouldn't put it past if, I don't know. You think Pierce Brosnan would come back?
I think so.
I don't want to say that he's just dead. Like, I think it might be a little bit more complex than that, because the mask isn't gone. Like, I think the helmet's still somewhere. Like, I think it just went somewhere. I don't think it just evaporated because Kent Nelson died. But you get the two of them back. You get Aldous Hodge. I think he said Mr. Terrific. Like, that would be a cool addition. I don't think they're going to do a live action. Anybody that's in Stargirl right now, I don't think they're going to do for...
Probably not.
But, however, I can definitely see them getting just add Alan Scott and Jay Garrick. Like, that would be two cool characters to add to that, too. I think that would be a really interesting dynamic.
It could be a nice way to get the heat off of Ezra Miller. Mm-hmm. You have a different kind of Flash running around.
Right, yeah.
That'd be cool. I'd be for that. And then the post-credit scene.
Man.
Which we all knew was coming.
Yep.
So Black Adam's sitting in his temple, in his palace.
Is that all he does? Well, I mean, he's like immortal, so I guess that is all he does.
Well, what else is he gonna do until something kicks up again?
Watch a movie? Like, nah, he just sits there.
So Viola Davis shows up on a drone. She's like, "Hello, Black Adam." So he's got his name, and she's like, "Look, stay in Kondak."
Yeah, you're not gonna stay in my prison. You're gonna stay in this prison.
And Black Adam's like, make me.
Yeah. If I want to leave, I'll leave.
And he's like, I'm the most powerful person on this planet. Like, you can't stop me. And she's like, oh, boy, can I?
Yeah.
Can't I?
Mm-hmm. And she's just like, I will make one phone call and get some more powerful people than you.
And guess what? She makes that phone call.
She was right, yeah.
And he descends upon the palace. It's Superman. It's Henry Cavill.
It's been a long time since anybody's made the world this nervous. And then the lighting switch happens, and he walks out of the shadow, and the great reception. It's the Andrew Garfield thing again. People are receiving him so well. Like,
yep, except for the Snyder folks.
They're mad?
They're pretty mad.
That whole thread about the suit, I was like, you guys, man, frustration is an understatement. Like, have you guys never, like, looked in the vicinity of a comic book in your entire life?
Yeah, they're mad. They're mad at the suit. They're mad at the hair. They're mad at the quips.
They were just like, oh my god, it's so old. Like, dog, he does that all the time. Like, that's Superman. Like, again, I do think with the proper person penning this script, like, we are going to get the truth, justice, and a better tomorrow. Like, that's Superman that understand those values. And again, I will say it to the end of the earth. Like, the first 2/3 of Man of Steel, and then that very ending, like, it all understands that. Like, I think it's the bridge that gets you there. It's the start of his journey. But now I think we're gonna get prime Superman understanding. I can't kill. I can't, like, I am to save everybody I can.
Black Adam, we need to talk. Or we should talk? I forget exactly what it says. We should talk. And then that's it. Fades, end credits, end movie, done. Superman's back. Henry Cavill's back in this universe. He's a little bit chippier than he was the last time we saw him.
Sure.
Little pep in his step.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm glad he's back. I'm glad to see, him. I'm excited for what the future of Superman and on the silver screen holds. Obviously, we have a wonderful Superman right now on TV in Tyler Hoechlin, but I'm excited to see more of Henry Cavill.
Yeah, I mean, Henry Cavill, truthfully, he is the Superman of our age.
Where's he been?
I don't know what he ever did to Warner Brothers to warrant. I just think they were such a... You know what
They were scared of...
I think they were scared of not only Zack Snyder, but the Snyder fans. Like, they didn't want to deal with any other person even attempting to take him under their wing. But this Superman, I feel, is going to be for everybody. Like, this is going to be the everyman super. Like, I genuinely think we're going to get like a Man of Tomorrow type of story where it's just him being Superman, fighting Brainiac, picking his kids up. Like, that's it.
Yeah. I'm glad we saw Amanda Waller in this post-credit scene again, because what's going on with her?
Okay, all right. So
explain yourself.
All right, here's my
as one of the producers of this movie. Explain yourself.
All right, here's my, and this has to do with the entire universe. So here's my big theory that I got. So DC, right? If you're a fan of DC Comics, every so often they do this thing called a crisis on something, a crisis in something, a crisis around something, a crisis around the corner from whatever. There's a crisis always going on because they can't help themselves. I think they're doing Dark Crisis right now. Whatever. So I think that there was some sort of reset inside of the DC universe that is still yet to be explained, but that explains why Amanda Waller isn't like the Suicide Squad and the Peacemaker version, because she's outed. Like, she's not somebody anybody wants to work with in Peacemaker.
And she's not working. She gets outed from Argus, right?
Yeah, she gets
at the end of Peacemaker.
Yeah, by her daughter. Like, she gets upended.
And now she's not running Task Force X. And she's apparently just got the Justice League on speed dial.
Well, yeah, so...
Because she can summon Superman from space.
Right, so I think that things are, like, broken around the DC universe on purpose. Like, I think it's helping, like... It's, like, the softest of soft reboots that you can ask for, like...
And also, the Batman will not be a part of this.
Oh, just get over yourselves. Matt Reeves will never, in a billion years even... Now, do I genuinely think at some point, if this whole thing... Imagine this plan goes immaculately, like, they just make it work.
I can't go that far yet.
Let's just
They haven't earned that.
Let's just say on some
just like Hawkman barely earned the emotional resonance of that scene with the helmet, Warner Brothers is barely earning this continuity right now.
But for the sake of argument, if they by some grace get this thing to work, like, do I think down the line in like 10, 15 years that like Robert Pattinson for not 10 seconds would just be shown on screen as a different Earth Batman? Yeah, he'd probably just do that for a second. Why not? Who cares? It doesn't change any, like, the incredibleness of what I think those Batman movies are going to divulge into. But as of right now, I'm feeling pretty I'm feeling the thing that guy's got on his chest. I'm feeling some hope. Like, I genuinely feel a little bit of hope. So,
I gotta see a couple other things before I go that far.
Yeah, but like I said, my big theory is that there's been something like outside of everything that's pulling the strings for something.
Did the Flash do this?
That's what I think that might be the thing, that the Flash reset a couple of things to get. Well, I think that was the original plan, was like he was gonna hard reset everything, and like whatever whatever, filmmaker picked whatever up, like, or whatever the continuity from, like, whether it have been Just Johns or Hamada or whoever, like, the person that's running everything, like, picked, like, that was gonna be it from what the Snyderverse into this new age. So we shall see.
I would, The Rock has gone on record saying, like, we're not competing with Marvel. Finally, someone said it, because it felt like forever that DC was kind of trying to compete with Marvel and trying to, like, do the Marvel method.
I mean, it doesn't help that Batman vs. Superman and Civil War came out in the same year. And
Batman vs. Superman was not earned, much like Civil War was earned.
Yeah.
So it does feel like with The Rock, what The Rock's vision for this DCEU, if he's the guy to go to, it seems like he might be.
Like I said, I think it's him. He's like the face front, like he's saying everything that somebody's behind the scenes doing.
It feels like he kind of wants this to be a bit more just comic booky. Like, again, like he wants this universe, he's envisioning this universe as like comic books brought to life. Like, things may not be super in-depth and gritty, but
like Artur-esque.
But it's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun ride. That's what I guess he can promise you is a fun ride. He got Superman back. So that definitely
thank him for something, it would be that.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm not saying, I wouldn't say I'm optimistic, but I'm curious.
Yeah.
I'm definitely curious about these next couple projects that they're going to end up doing between the Aquaman sequel, the Shazam sequel. It would not surprise me if they haven't done so already, that Black Adam will be in some form or fashion involved with the Shazam sequel as like a post-credit scene.
I think he is going to be the post-credit scene, and I think Shazam 3 is going to be finally the thing. Like it.
Whether they filmed that already or they're going to now off the back of whatever money Black Adam makes, I would not be surprised if Black Adam shows up in the Shazam sequel.
Yeah, and then obviously he said he's going to fight Superman at some point, that he wants a movie. In my personal opinion, I do think you just put the three of them in a movie. I don't know if you double down on doing, like, Superman...
Black Adam fighting another guy?
Yeah.
Movie?
Right, because, like, you're going to have two of them. Like, that was our fear, that The Rock was going to overpower this. So that's... I mean, I don't think that question's been alleviated yet.
No.
I think that might have been, like... expedited of anything like that. He might just be like... Because it's, again, like... It's not on... Because still, like, as much as we clown Tony Stark for not being, like, the Fantastic Four, the X-Men, like, he's still Tony Stark, and, like, comic Tony Stark still was important, but, like, this would be, like, a next level reimagining to have Black Adam be the one that causes all of this, so. But, yeah, like I said, I think you put the three of them in a movie, like, have Superman teach Shazam how to take it to, like, an adult level of thinking, but, like, he can learn some things from them, whatever. Have Black Adam be like, whatever the plot would be, like, hey, why would you guys interfere with this, like, with Kahndaq? You did something to Kahndaq. Or the Wizards, whatever. The Wizards are back. Who cares? Doesn't matter. Get the three of them against each other. They punch for a bit, and then they're mates. Give us a JSA movie. Give us the Superman movie. We're going to get another Aquaman. Patty Jenkins is making the third Wonder Woman. Like, Patty, make it like the first one.
Yeah, I agree. Should we do our world famous Let's Rank These Things segment?
Yep.
So yeah, we're taking the core 11 DCEU films, excluding the Batman and excluding the Joss Whedon iteration of Justice League, which would undoubtedly take the bottom of this list, even with the Suicide Squad involved. So we went over our list before this. They're not terribly different from one another. The top four are the same, just in different order, and then just a couple flip-flops here and there. So I'll go first. So I have the Suicide Squad, number one, James Gunn's Suicide Squad that released last year. I think that is still the golden standard. It just, we've sung its praises. We did an episode on it.
It was a third episode.
It was an incredible film. It gave us so many great characters.
Remember when we saw that? Because it was like, this was, like I said, it was a third episode, and like it released on HBO Max, and I had to use everything in my power not to watch the movie because the first reviews were coming in, and they were like, "You guys aren't ready because this movie's actually great." And then we were in the theater, and then the first 20 minutes happened. I was like, "This is it."
Yeah. Done it. My second one is that the first Wonder Woman film. I think it does all the things that I'm glad Black Adam didn't do. It took itself a little bit seriously. It tackled a lot of different issues around the role of humanity in war that I thought was really interesting. Gal Gadot is great.
Yeah, that's the best, in my opinion, she's ever been in this shoot.
I would agree.
It's the best. Like, I think what Schneider captures is her ferocity. Like, I think she's formidable. I love her way more in Batman vs Superman than I do in the Justice League, though.
Yes.
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 I don't know what, I think it's the mystery around her in Batman vs Superman, and like she just comes in and like I feel Wonder Woman, but like the warrior Wonder Woman, but like then Wonder Woman like peels all those layers back and like formulates what she was. So that's a really good pick for 2.
Third act's not great. The fight with Ares, but I forgive it because the rest of them. Third, I have Birds of Prey. Third,
maybe we should talk about Birds of Prey one day.
I would love to,
because I don't think people gave that movie a fair shot. Also, the world was like ending when that movie came out.
Yeah, I think I said it before. It was the last movie I saw before everything got shut down by COVID. It was the last movie I saw in a theater. I have not seen it since, but I do remember really liking it. The action is tremendous.
Yeah, I think
it's some of the most unique action they've done to this point. Ewan McGregor is outstanding as Black Mask.
It's the same. He understands.
Yeah, and it's a great just great characters all around. Great introduction to Black Canary, I thought. And Margot Robbie is as good as she's ever been in this DC EU. 4, I have Man of Steel 4, so it's good. It's a good movie. It's a good Superman.
I think I swayed your opinion because I feel like you didn't feel like this like a couple years ago since I've known you. I feel like I've done it.
Yeah, comparing it to everything else on this list.
You don't have to, man. Just leave it forward. Just leave it. Just don't say anything.
It's good. Henry Cavill's good. I have my issues with it, obviously, but overall, I really enjoy it. 5th is Shazam. It's fun. Mm-hmm. That's pretty much my review of that. It's fun. It's got some really touching moments that are earned. and
we still hate Billy Batson mom to this day.
Looking forward to seeing more Zachary Levi in the role. Mm-hmm. Coming in at 6, Black Adam. I'm putting Black Adam 6. Like I said, I think it's perfect for that 5-6 slot for me because, like I said, to me, this is the bar now for like DC. Like, is it fun? Give me some fun, and I'll be generally satisfied with what I get. After Black Adam, I have the Snyder Cut of Justice League. I have my issues with the ending. The epilogue in particular, it's too long. I've said this before, it's too long. But it does do some interesting things with...
Oh, and by the way... Some people call me
Martian Manhunter. The whole Elseworld Doom World sequence I'm not in love with. Hopefully, mercifully, it's the last we'll ever see of Jared Leto's Joker. But it does some interesting things with The Flash. Got me kind of back on board with that character before all the Ezra Miller drama happened, and got me really on board with Cyborg, who unfortunately we will likely never see again in a DC movie. So honestly, that's probably why it dropped a couple like notches for me, is because it did the most interesting things with characters we're never going to see again.
Yeah. Hey man, they hit this reset. If something different happened with Ray Fisher, I would have seen them just recasting Cyborg and just, calling it quits. But you know what? I do think we'll see Cyborg. I don't think we're ever going to see Ray Fisher.
We're never seeing as Ray Fisher again.
No, I would not be super surprised if we see... Because Cyborg's so... Especially if you're going to do any, like, dark side stuff, you're going to need Cyborg, so...
We'll see. After the Snyder Cut of Aquaman, again, it's pretty fun. Jason Momoa carries that movie with his charisma.
Oh my god, yeah.
Who's the guy that plays his brother?
Oh, yeah, Patrick... We talked about it. Patrick Wilson... Patrick
Wilson, yep.
Yep.
You almost said Patrick Stewart.
Yeah.
Different movie if that's Patrick Stewart.
I'm not going to lie. That final fight they have...
It's good.
Slaps.
It's good. It's because they got away from the CGI big smoke fight.
Mm-hmm. They were just boxing at the end.
Yeah, they were just fighting on top of a submarine. It was good. Then my bottom 3, Batman vs Superman. I've talked about this before.
Oh no,
I don't like that movie at all. It does too many things. Mm-hmm. It tries to be too many things. It adapts way too many comic book storylines. It butchers the Superman character. Yeah, just a lot of unearned shenanigans going on in that movie.
Unearned shenanigans is one way to put it. I'm a sucker, man. I can't wait to do my ranking. I'm such a sucker.
Wonder Woman 84, second from the bottom.
I just watched that movie yesterday.
That movie's down here because A, it's not very good, and B, it knows better.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad that it's so fresh in my mind because, like I said, so it's funny because Wonder Woman 84 comes on and I'm watching it and like I hadn't watched that movie since Christmas Day last year, or 2 years ago. I haven't watched that movie, and it's on, and then you do the sequence with Kid Wonder Woman. Who cares? You get to the sequence when it hits the 80s, and I'm like, yeah, do this. This feels like Christopher Reeves. You know what it feels like? It feels like Christopher Reeves mixed with the opening of The Amazing Spider-Man 2, like thrown in the 80s, like the stoic superhero saving the day of these nameless villains that are nameless robbers in the mall. Like, cool. Like, that feels like comic book movie stuff to do in the past age. Like, that was just a fun opening to this movie. And then what ensued after that just makes absolutely no sense.
Yeah, like I said, it's a movie that knows better. Everybody knew better.
Mm-hmm.
Patty Jenkins knew better. I don't know what that movie was trying to be.
I don't get it. Like, I don't...
Absolutely wasted a crazy talented actor in Pedro Pascal in that movie.
And a really good DC Comics character. Like, Maxwell Lord has... There's, I forget what comic it was. Maxwell Lord has one of my favorite, like, villain switch reveals of all time when he kills Blue Beetle. Like, it's absolutely incredible, where it's like, he's with them, like, he's with the Justice League, like, in one of the Crisis events, and, like, he genuinely just turns around and shoots Blue Beetle, and I was like, give me that, like, give me some cool, like, but you know the thing that they did with Pedro Pascal's Maxwell Lord.
Yep.
Because of who won the election.
Yep.
So.
Yep. And then, at the bottom of the list, David Ayer's Suicide Squad.
Would it be some type of Suicide Squad?
I don't care what cut of that movie you release, it's just no good. It's not any good. It has one redeeming moment in the Deadshot on a car shooting a bunch of monsters fight.
That was it.
And that's it.
This movie feels incredibly disjointed.
Talk about unearned sacrifice. That El Diablo thing at the end? Nope. Didn't care for it.
What?
Wasted a really talented cast.
Yeah, that was probably one of the best casts they put together. And then whatever Cara Delevingne was doing, just uninspired, just doesn't make any inkling of sense.
Whatever Jared Leto was doing.
I mean, this movie has a lot more going on than that, but again, it's just an example of just not understanding what type of movie you're putting together when you're making this movie. Nope. And it just feels like too many hands in the pot.
Super uninspiring, super just disappointing.
Ben Affleck's in this movie.
Ezra Miller's also in this movie.
Yeah, he is. No wonder amongst thieves, eh? Yeah.
Man, yeah, just no good. So that's my ranking. Go ahead, go off, King.
So at number 1,
it's Man of Steel.
Hey man, don't spoil it. But yes, it is. Again, I just watched that movie within the last week, as I probably do every month, because I mean, look, man, this movie I don't care. It just means the world to me. This was 2013. This movie came out. Watched this movie, was just floored. Like, again, I think the first two, I don't care what anybody says, I think the first 2/3 of this movie are just inspired. You talk about a hero's journey with the hero. Like, I think it's just a place to kind of grow and just kind of see where Clark Kent comes from. Like, that flight sequence is still one of the best sequences in any comic book movie you can ask for. All the performances I think are pretty solid. Especially General Zod too. Like, what Michael Shannon's able to do is just incredible. I think this is a way better moral debate than what Batman vs Superman was trying to go to. And I'll say it when I get down there, because there's some pieces of the moral debate that they should have just made this movie about, because Batman vs Superman should have never even thought about putting Batman in that movie. But yeah, Man of Steel's 1. I love that movie to the end of time. The Suicide Squad's 2. That movie's awesome. It rocks. It's just a hardcore rock and roll movie. James Gunn has complete command of any type of character that he wants to create and kind of adapt. It's incredible how that guy's mind works. It's just, as a filmmaker, it's really awesome. Birds of Prey is 3. I think that movie's action is incredible. Pretty solid world building too, within like the underground of Gotham. Which was fun. So I really like Birds of Prey, man. I think that movie's I just think that's a really dope movie. Wonder Woman's 4, already talked about that kind of the power set Diana has and just peeling back the layers. Chris Pine is particularly really good in that movie. One of the favorite times I've seen him, and that movie just works. Like 90% of the time, that movie just absolutely works, and it understands. I love how Patty Jenkins talked about like her inspiration from Christopher Reeves and what they were able to do with those Richard Donner Superman movies. So you definitely feel that influence in there. Number 5 is Shazam, same spot as you. Movie's fun. It's emotional. It's fun. It's a great Christmas-esque superhero story. All the kids are great. The way they go about like him not understand, like he doesn't get it. He just doesn't get it. And like I love the dichotomy between like I love how serious Billy Batson is. Like that's an aspect of him that I enjoy so much that they pulled from the Jeff Johns run. Like Billy Batson is so freaking serious because he just tries to be this adult, and then he turns into Shazam, and it's like he finally gets a chance to be a kid when he's Shazam. Like that dynamic, I think, is really incredible. The Schneider Cut's 6 for me. I'm a sucker, man. I'm such a freaking sucker, and I hate the fact that I am, because you're gonna hate me, but I almost had Batman vs Superman after this because
don't do it.
There's some aspects of that movie that I like. I like when Wonder Woman comes in. That fight. What you think about that fight, the way that he displays power is pretty cool. That warehouse scene is incredible. And again, they go for it and it starts to work. Like the sequence I told you about, like when he drops, like when he goes to Mexico to that Day of the Dead festival and saves that girl, then they go into the moral implications of Superman. Just do that for the whole, like do that, cool. But then throw a villain in there. Whether it be Lex Luthor, talk about like what, and the end of that movie should have ended with, yes, we do need Superman, like because he is the beacon of hope. He doesn't need to fight. That movie, it doesn't make a lot of sense sometimes. But I'm such a sucker. Like, I don't hate Zack Snyder. Like, I sell out too easily. There's just some aspects that it's just guilty pleasure at that point. But I have to put Black Adam before that. So Black Adam 7, movie's fun. We just talked about it. Then Batman vs Superman is 8. Aquaman's 9. Again, I think it's a little less of a version of No Harm, No Foul. There's some things that don't work. That movie gets really overwhelming in that third act, but it still is fun. And then I think what makes up for like the first part of the third act being so visually overwhelming is
they have the mummy sequence where they're
they just turn into Tomb Raiders. Okay, like that movie just kind of went sideways. But I think some of the characters were cool. Like Yatin Abdul Mateen was pretty cool.
Yes.
As Black Manta, I hope we see him again. Like I really hope we see him again. And yeah, that movie's cool. Patrick Wilson's probably one of my favorite villains inside of the DCEU. It's compelling too. It's interesting. Like it is Game of Thrones-esque, like family drama. Wonder Woman 84. Again, it's just that movie's so frustrating after you get out of the sequence. Like, don't know what they were doing with, like, Kristen Wiig, like, she was in that era where she was acting quite a bit. Like, she was turning herself into a pretty credible actress, which was awesome. And then again, it starts out solid. It starts out, like, feeling like regular recipe Wonder Woman, like, smart ways to introduce your characters, and then just never sticks the landing on. It's just, I don't know it didn't feel like Patty was making those choices. I don't know what it was, but I feel like somebody else was doing some things in that movie that should have never even been around.
Yeah.
And then I wish I could skip some spots and then put Suicide Squad at the bottom, because man, that movie, man. Poor Will Smith had to be in that movie. Poor Margot Robbie had to be in that movie.
It's bad.
Remember when they just killed Slipknot? That movie's the prime example of, like, you know how you're supposed to show, not tell? They just looked at that, and then they did the Crown of Sabak thing, and they inverted the reading, and they were just like, tell, not show. This is Katana. She captures the souls of everybody she kills.
Don't.
What an absolutely incredible redemption of Rick Flag.
Oh, man. His death is, like, one of the most emotionally resonant deaths in any comic book movie.
What a joke.
Yeah.
I might watch the Suicide Squad tonight now.
It's great. Yeah. So the future's looking up.
Yeah. What do you want from the future? Anything specific you want, or kind of see a path that could be laid out? I just want Superman to be Superman. Yep. That's literally all I want from the next few years, is just let Superman be Superman. Borrow from the Tyler Hoechlin mold if you have to get an idea of the tone that I kind of want this to take. Mm. Like, I want that with a little less dad. Less dad and a little bit more grandiose, maybe, because it is a movie after all.
Right.
I definitely want, like you said, give me Superman, maybe give me Supergirl, because Obviously, Melissa Benoist is done, so you can go get some big actress, make her be Supergirl, do the whole Kandor thing, and do Brainiac to come back. Show off the other aspect. Give me Clark Kent too. I gotta see prime Clark Kent, because there's one thing to be said about Superman himself, but I gotta see more of like actual Clark Kent just doing Clark Kent things. That's why that opening to Supergirl season 2 is so incredible, because it immediately gets Clark Kent within the first 3 seconds of what you see this guy.
Yes, Mr. White.
Yeah, yes, Mr. White. That is pretty old, Mr. White. Shut up, Kent. Oh, bring back Lawrence Fishburne as Perry White too. Yeah. Yeah, give me
give me the JSA.
Give me the JSA, but also give me the I want the Justice League back. So there's this rumor that's circulating from some pretty credible sources that they've been testing some actors to take over for Ezra Miller, and the biggest one is George McKay was the biggest one to come out of that. So George McKay was the protagonist in 1917, Sam Mendes' film, so I think he would be an incredible Flash. I think one's the only time I've heard him do an American accent. I think in Captain Fantastic with Viggo Mortensen. But yeah, that's cool. Give me Barry Allen. Give me tried and true Barry Allen. Let's have some fun. Get some emotions in there. Again, as much as people like to make fun of these shows, one thing they get that emotion right. A lot of the times they get a lot of those emotional beats correct. So give me some of that. Give me Glenn Powell. What I talked about this all the time. That Green Lantern mythos is so extensive.
Give me a Green Lantern. Please.
Give me Glenn Powell. Give me Green Lantern. Just do it. That'll be a fun kind of aspect to explore. And then go on the Crisis route. Here's the big one, right? So Batman. So this guy named Bruce Wayne, right? What do you do with Batman? Because I just don't think you can do this without having Batman there.
No, but I also think maybe you just shelve him for a bit. Let the DC take the corner of Gods Amongst Men. Give me the superpowered people with all the crazy powers. Mm-hmm. Give me more of that stuff.
Yeah.
Because I think it's an aspect that Marvel hasn't quite tackled. They've done it pretty much with Thor, and that's pretty much been it.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone else is pretty good.
Well, I mean, that's the argument, because you talk about the bigger implications of what DC meant to the world and what Marvel meant to the world. DC very much was this ideal, and that's why Superman, I don't care, he's the most famous superhuman superhero of all time. It's and then it trickles down to the rest of us. He's the ideal of what if you were to get powers today? How would you help better mankind? Versus those Marvel heroes are, especially what Stan Lee was trying to do, they're freedom fighters. They're meant for equality and how we make this world it doesn't matter if you're some kid from Queens that gets bit by a spider. It doesn't matter if you're a kid that wakes up one day and just has superpowers and people think you're a freak based off that. Doesn't matter if you're some skinny kid from Brooklyn that gets super soldier serum. Whoever you are, you can ascend to this. Versus them, they are gods, but at the end of the day, they're just human beings. They're human beings that, regardless, that's why they have those secret identities, because they just want to have they just want to have normal lives, but they can help those people.
Give me more Black Adam. Give me more Superman. Give me more Shazam. Give me a Green Lantern. Yep. Give me all these gods amongst men, and let Matt Reeves play in his little Batman sandbox for a little while.
Don't got to do nothing with that. Let him do whatever he wants to do.
And that gives me enough Batman that I'm satisfied.
Yep.
And like I said, I'm curious.
And with Kingdom Come.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, make Kingdom Come like your Logan. Do your all-star. Nah, they got to play it by ear, because you can. That's an if and or but, because they can kind of. I feel if they ever get there, they're going to combine Kingdom Come with something else, maybe with a crisis event or something. But man, I just would love the idea of Henry Cavill finishing out his career on in 15 years on All-Star Superman, and just this super poetic, incredible story that we get.
That would be great. Yeah, I said.
Darkseid. Maybe the Anti Monitor.
Ooh, crisis is imminent.
Crisis is imminent.
Being far, far more powerful than myself.
It's just me with no lotion.
Come on, man. I'm curious, but not quite optimistic yet. I got to see a couple more things before I get to.
Sure.
Before I get optimistic.
Maybe get Warner Brothers an actual home.
Yeah, that'd be nice. So that's Black Adam. It was fun. I enjoyed it. Good job, The Rock.
Good job, The Rock.
You did change the hierarchy of power.
Yep.
You did it.
Oh, is that the consensus?
I think he did. On a scale of didn't change the hierarchy to change it, I think he changed it. You got the president of Warner Brothers out.
You got the president of Warner Brothers out, and you got Henry Cavill back in. I think those are the...
You did it. You changed the hierarchy.
Yeah.
So we'll transition to the what have you been doing thing. What have you been doing?
Heck, I haven't been doing much. I've been so busy where I can't, like, focus and sit down. I had to watch the Yankees get swept.
That's not fun.
It's never fun, because it's been happening... The last 6 years of my life have been just...
You can't keep getting away with this.
Me looking at the Astros, you can't keep getting away with this. Why am I talking about sports? Basketball's back, so I'm excited. I've been watching a lot of sports. The Phillies are in the World Series. That's fun. That's it. I've been watching sports.
Cool.
Yeah, My teams, all my teams played like on the same day, and I was 1 for 2. It didn't go great.
I've been playing God of War.
Yeah.
God of War 2018.
Yeah.
Prepping for... I played God of War 3, and then I played God of War 2018, because those two games are pretty tied together. It's the end of the Olympian saga and the beginning of the Norse mythology saga. And then you really see that transition for Kratos between, like, raging madman.
It's a single dad.
It's a single dad who just wants to chill. Mm-hmm. But God of War 2018 is still great.
Oh, my God. That game.
Yeah, it hasn't aged a single day, in my opinion, even though it hasn't even been upscaled for PS5. It's just been...
It looks so good, though.
Yeah, it's just out. The only thing they did to it is they added a 60 FPS to it for the PlayStation 5. But, man, yeah, I love that game. It feels great. The perfect marriage of a great game is when it plays great and it looks great and the story's great.
Like The Last of Us.
Yes, you combine all those things and you get a masterpiece, and that's what God of War 2018 is. God of War Ragnarok comes out in 2 weeks. Early reviews are out. Spoilers are kind of littering the internet, so if you don't want to be spoiled on anything, stay away from that. Watched the House of the Dragon finale last night, and I've been watching Yellowstone.
Nice. Nice. Everybody loves Michael Keaton.
Kevin Costner, man.
Crap. Michael Keaton was in Dope Sick.
Yeah.
I'm getting my old sages mixed up.
It's good. It's like what if the Sopranos but they're cowboys. is essentially what Yellowstone is.
Isn't Sylvester Stallone also doing that? But if they're like from New Jersey, I don't know where.
So I've been enjoying Yellowstone.
Nice.
So I'm like 4 episodes in.
Okay.
And the body count's already high.
It's high. It's very high.
Yeah. So that's gonna do it for us. I think this week we can. You can actually. We already follow our own social medias. You can
sellouts if we didn't. Like,
you can follow
Batman
us
versus Superman high on that list.
You can follow us on Twitter at ProjectINF_pod. You can follow us on Facebook, on Instagram
at the Project Infinite Pod.
Thank you. New episodes are posted every Wednesday, or sometimes whenever we feel like doing a different one.
Non-spoiler reviews.
The Boys. We did an episode on.
Yeah. It's The Boys. We cannot.
That was our only explicit tagged episode that we've released. We let it fly. On that one.
You let it fly.
I let it fly.
I have to be the sane one here. You're Homelander.
I had to get it out, man.
I'm Huey and you're Homelander.
I don't realize how much I curse in everyday life, and then I come here and I do this for 2 hours and I can't do it.
You do let one slip a week.
Every now and then.
This week.
Every now and then. Not one that'll get me explicit tagged.
Yeah. Or for the kids, except for the boys.
Yeah.
Which is ironic.
That's, yeah. Got that. Twitter, Instagram, yada, 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 yada.
And you can find us everywhere you stream podcasts.
Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon, Pandora.
iHeartRadio, and I checked.
Next week, Court's gonna shotgun 10 episodes of House of the Dragon,
yes.
and we're gonna do House of the Dragon.
Yeah, so full transparency. In this 2-week period when I've been so busy, like, I kind of stopped my Marvel rewatch, so, like, I've literally been chipping away at the same it's season 2, episode 7 of Jessica Jones in our rewatch, and it's pissing me off so much, because I'm so close to Runaway season 2, a show that I actually really enjoy, and I can't get there because I can't get out of Jessica Jones. Jessica Jones season 2 is frustrating because I actually kind of like the beginning. I remember not liking the season, and then I'm watching the beginning. I'm like, I actually do kind of like those first 2 episodes of that season, and then it just doesn't get great after that. It gets really frustrating and really kind of annoying, especially with the subplot with her. Well, I mean, it's not the subplot; it is the plot with her mother just doesn't make an inkling of sense why that was the direction you go for. But whatever. I just gotta get it. My brain is like, if I get out of Jessica Jones, then I can get to Runaways, and then there's like a show run, and then I hit Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. season 5, and the day we talk about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., listen, it's Tony Stark, it's Captain America, and it's Leopold Fitz are the top 3 characters in the MCU, and I just won't listen to anything else besides that. I could say Daredevil now since he's canon.
Yeah.
So Daredevil's 1A, like with 15 spots in between, and then it goes to Tony Stark.
Yep. And so yeah, we're gonna do House of the Dragon next week.
Yeah, that was all to say we're doing House of the Dragon.
Yeah, so Court's gonna shotgun the entire season of House of the Dragon, and we're gonna talk about what has been one of the best shows of 2022. Yeah,
I'm gonna try to, because I'm on season 2, episode 7 of Game of Thrones. I think the last thing that I saw is undercover Arya's talking to Tywin Lannister, and they're forming like an interesting relationship.
Careful, girl. I enjoy you, but be careful. That's
literally, I'm not even joking, that's literally the line that I paused it on. So I didn't want to go into the next scene. Robb Stark still has that dog in him. Man's never lost a battle. Never lost.
Yeah, he's great.
It's a Michael Jordan of battles. He's built different.
And yeah, we're going to talk about House of the Dragon. We're going to talk about all the performances, all the characters. It is what been a saving grace for the Game of Thrones kind of IP.
Yep.
In a lot of people's estimations. So
listen, HBO Max, their show run is about to get really. I think HBO Max is going to have a massive year. I think they're getting White Lotus. They're getting 2 of their Oscar-winning or Emmy-winning shows on top of The Last of Us is the fandom show. Like
House of the Dragon will likely capture some Emmys.
Oh,
I would assume.
I don't have a shadow of doubt. And then, we're going to get Succession.
And we also may be getting House of the Dragon season 2 next year. Which Ryan Condal has said that they're starting shooting soon, and it's possible that it could be released at the end of next year.
Wow.
So
the HBO Max might try to, before whatever the new thing, because I don't know if that's still a thing, which HBO Max is going to dissolve into like one big streaming service with all the Discovery properties, but till that day, HBO Max is still reigning as one of the top dogs in the streaming war, and their original content is doing that for them.
Yeah, so that's going to be next week, House of the Dragon next week. Until then,
Careful.
Oh man.
You gotta be real careful here.
I don't have a lot of wiggle room here.
Yeah, you don't.
The Adam Smasher of the podcast.
I knew it. I didn't even have to think about it. I knew it. As soon as I said be careful, that took away 2 people right off the bat. It took away 3 people off the bat.
You're too young to be Dr. Fate.
Yeah. I'm like the kid here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're the plucky young buck who just wants to make a difference.
Mm-hmm. I have a famous uncle. I don't, but
the Adam Smasher of the podcast will be back next week to talk season 1 of House of the Dragon, and I cannot wait because we're finally talking some Thrones on this podcast.
Yeah, it's been 65 episodes and no Thrones.
Yeah, so we're gonna talk some Thrones next week. So see you later, guys. Goodbye.
Peace.